Hello, welcome to Fight for What You Believe. This is a Burning Whale actual play live stream set in the world of Castile, which us fine folk created using the Quiet Year. This is going to be a show about compelling characters, what they believe in, the vibrant world that we've created for them, where Castile is rich with intrigue, these large beast companions called the Kin, and many interesting, powerful locations like the Ivory Tower, the volcano, and a few more. My name is Corey. I will be the GM for today, and my pronouns are he, they. And with me, we have Maria, if you would like to introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm back. I am Maria. I use the she, they pronouns. I am playing Robin, who uses the she, her pronouns, Robin Weir. Who's about to go on trial.
Nice.
Oh.
Awesome. And next up, Taryn, do you want to introduce yourself and Dwin, please?
If I say no, gonna keep eating my ice cream.
Well, I mean,
No.
we'll come back to you, but
No, I'm good. I am Taryn. Yeah, I use he/him pronouns. Find me on the Twitters at TarzanOZ, and I am playing speaker Dwin Warmonth. Yeah, and he is attempting to be a spiritual guide for this trial.
sweet. And Zach.
Hi, that's me. I'm Zach. He, him pronouns. I will be playing Lord Reginald Wenzy, a member of the Kin Cavalry of all the dino fighting. And yeah, he, him pronouns, and he'll get to do some scheming this week, I'm hoping. We'll see how that goes.
Nice. Awesome. So, with all of our Burning Wheel games, I'll maybe give a quick summary. We are jumping into the trial of Robin within connection to the Arcane Storm, as no one has been brought to justice over that. And we will be seeing what some of that looks like. The previous two episodes have basically been preparing for the trial, as far as talking between the PCs, talking with the current leader of Castile, who is Tenna, who is also in a hateful romantic relationship with Robin. There was a conversation that went between Dwin, Lord Wenzy, Ash, who is Lord Wenzy's forbidden romance and is in the different church group that
Other person's forbidden romance.
That was my forbidden romance.
Dwin's forbidden romance. There's a lot of different forbidden and hateful romances going on. Ash and Dwin, both forbidden because they come from different groups within Castile, and then we also have Lord Wenzy, who is a part of the Kin militia, and we got to see their connection, Octavia, who the two of them sort of had an intimidation off at each other. Yeah. So the first thing that I think we'll do is hop in and take a look at our beliefs. We'll get those set up. And what we're going to do for this is we'll sort of like chat through them, figure out where we want to change them, figure out where we want to update them. Because with Burning Wheel, what we get to do is at the start of each session, we'll figure out what our characters believe in this moment and where they're going to go from there. And I, as the GM, am going to use those to essentially create conflict and upset the peace with that. So, is anyone particularly ready to jump in onto their beliefs or want to go first? Otherwise, I'll probably just go alphabetical, perhaps.
We go
Which
alphabetical by last name of character. We do that.
This is so great.
Okay.
Well,
Taryn or Zach, are you?
Sure. I can probably go I think mine are at least slightly aligned with the trial, so I might not have a whole lot to change.
Okay, cool. Awesome.
Because the first one is... Oh, yes?
No, go ahead. I was just going to say I'm bringing it up on screen and you're good to go.
Gotcha. Yeah, because first one is I will use Robin's trial to prove that the current government is ineffective and needs to be replaced. So
Yep.
I did it. That one's about the trial.
Is there a specific way that Wenzy plans to take action on that in the trial?
That's what I was trying to figure out. Like, like it probably the one main idea is to place the blame onto Tenna instead. Obviously, because like we'd find out that she was at least somewhat related to how the gun showed up, right?
Yes,
That's correct. She was the one who handed it off, so like probably her fault. And if it's not, then maybe we can get everyone to believe that.
Okay. Do you feel like that would be something that's worth adding into the belief, or do you just want to leave it?
Yeah, maybe like switch it around. Like I will use Robin's trial to instead of what I've got written, somehow say like to instead place blame on Tenna or something like that.
Sure. Yeah, I think that makes sense.
This trial to make Tenna there. Seen guilty, or that's a little bland, but
I mean, if we know the gist of it, so
yeah, to place blame on Tenna.
I like it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Second one is I don't know, a little wish. I will do what I must to claim my rightful place as the kin militia leader, which could take that one or leave that. Like
I'm gonna suggest
that one's probably good.
Keep it.
Yeah, I think keep that. That one's a medium term play. You might be able to get that one as a freebie. In this is like you shake up where everyone sits, and it's like, oops, maybe it's me. It's the kin militia leader now.
Oh, musical chairs.
Yeah, I mean, there's two ways to go about that, right? You kick out the person that actually has that, or you shift everyone up one, including me.
Yep. Awesome.
And then the third one is I want to rewrite it after last week's session. I think I just don't know what it's going to be. I must win over the kin militia chaplain because that was Ash that we met last week.
Yeah.
Like I still want to win Ash over, but I feel like that needs to be like more pointed.
Yeah. Okay. Do you maybe want a second to think on that one, and then
yeah,
we can...
I'll cycle back around on that one.
Cool. Sweet. Do we want to hop over to Dwin?
Sure. Let's see how this goes.
Sweet.
So my first one is I will move the church forward by determining Robin's guilt through the ancestors. That kind of happened last session,
Yes.
right?
Because
I kind of got a yes but no response.
You did have the vision, and yeah.
So trying to think how that would evolve this time.
Right. Move the church forward. It could potentially say something specifically about the trial, like in this trial, the church is going to move forward. And however you want to spin that potentially, just ideas.
Yeah. Maybe use the trial to move the church forward by prosecuting the true guilty party through the ancestors. Something along those lines.
Yeah. Yep. I think that makes sense. And then the next one that you had here, or sorry, do you want to take a second to?
Yeah, type.
Yeah, sorry. Yep. Cool. Yeah, I like the sound of that. I think.
Okay. Next one. I will convert my love no matter the cost, that I don't anger the ancestors. I still think I could focus on the trial somehow.
I'm just gonna Oh, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. I was just gonna say I will convert my love by demonstrating the ancestors' power during the trial.
Okay. Yeah. Are you going to demonstrate that by summoning a spirit during the trial, or?
I'm not sure yet.
Okay.
Maybe.
Okay.
I would like to find out. There's a chance. I'm saying there's a chance.
Sweet.
And then the last one, I will pull the nobility back into the Church of the Ancestors, and I will lead them. I will use the trial to pull the nobility back. I don't know.
Yeah.
I still feel like that's more of like the big term goal.
Yeah. I'm also wondering, and this is just an idea if you're interested, but you could go to sort of a belief that isn't as, I think the other two are like really actionable. So if you wanted a third one that's more like, this is just something that Dwin believes and is going to always do. I don't know if
Okay.
that's something.
I mean, believe that the Church of the Ancestors is the only true way forward for Castile.
Mm-hmm. I think that would fit really nicely. And it gives you a good like compass whenever anything ambiguous comes up.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So I think with that we'll hop over to Robin, and once we've done all three, I'll maybe cycle back through so that we can quickly look at our instincts and traits rather. Just so we can quickly show off all the wonderful stuff that's on our character sheets. Cool. Okay, I've got Robin's sheet up if you want to walk us through Maria.
Yeah. So the first one, there's power in this weapon. It belongs to me. I will keep it secret at all costs. I was thinking about this.
Mm-hmm.
I think just altering it, the last part of that sentence to, I will use it if necessary.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
I was thinking the exact same thing.
Oh my goodness, we're like the same person.
Hands for it.
We have mechanics for this pistol now, so...
Yep.
Oh no. We already did the Chekhov's gun joke, but it's time.
That one I think is, well, the third one I have also I think is pretty easy, and I don't know if it necessarily needs to change too much. The politics of this land are petty. No one can see the logic around them. I will show them their wrongness. I don't know if that needs to change at all, or if it needs to just be more specific, or...
I think that's like the good sort of general one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So if you want to make it more specific, for sure, but
I don't think so, because I think that it's just vague enough as for like the facility of like how to facilitate that.
yeah.
That I think it's delicious.
Yeah, exactly.
The other one I have, no one trusts me, I trust no one. I don't know. Like I'm kind of starting to trust Lord Wenzi to the
Yeah.
I trust
my
1.5 people.
I trust
Wenzi a little and Dwin.
myself and half of Lord Wenzi.
And a spirit or two somewhere in there.
Maybe a
Occasionally a
spirit,
spirit,
or two.
but not Dwin.
Nope, Delilah. Delilah's the one thing I trust. Delilah can never hurt me.
All of my beliefs are now, I only believe in Delilah.
Okay.
Because I want one that's like actually specific to what I. Okay. Because here's what I think Robin is going into this with the intention of doing. One, to, prove her innocence, asterisk. But also using this as an avenue to take revenge on Tenna in a way that is undetermined.
Yeah.
To either, prove to them that Castile is not worth, as it is not worth protecting or like siding with.
Mm-hmm.
I think is her goal. However that comes about, I don't think she knows, and I don't know. But that's her goal.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm just gonna like toss out one thing that came to mind while you were sort of sharing those thoughts. It sounded a bit like you wanted to essentially use the trial, and this is not making it sound nice, to throw her under the bus in some sense.
Yeah, discredit her in like a pretty nasty way.
Okay. What if that was worded something like, Tenna is not responsible or not capable. This trial will discredit her, or something. I was trying to figure out how that could be worded. These are just ideas that I'm tossing out as well. Feel free.
Yeah.
You know, it's your character, please.
Because it's a double motivation. It's to kind of get Tenna off of her high horse, but also show her and the rest of the city through this that Castile is not great, and it's not, you know, worth all of this, like, because her, you know, Tenna's biggest thing. Have you considered Castile? Well, yeah, and it sucks. It's bad. It's not good. We're a bunch of shitty gossips who just like don't do anything, and we have all this knowledge and we don't use it. So why is it still here? You know? So I think it's more along the lines of Castile is not worth saving, and I I don't know how to finish that.
I think it's pretty close to what you're looking for. Maybe if we like loop back around, do you think that would give you a second to get where you want? Cool. And I maybe missed this, but for your first belief, that's just blank on my screen. I don't know if we went over that.
That's weird. Yeah. Oh, why do I not have one? It's blank on my screen. It was blank when I opened it. What happened? I don't remember what it was. Okay.
I think that was the original one about Tenna.
Oh, I think you're right.
And do you have your one about Tenna? And
no,
actually,
I don't have I don't have the Tenna revenge. Okay, well,
just pencil in Tenna revenge real quick.
Okay. Well, that one can be specifically like, because I think I want to persuade Tenna, but then also in a larger sense, tell like the city, like, hey, also you all suck and need to change.
Yeah. So maybe like one belief that's directed at what the population thinks, or what like people think, and one that's about what Tenna thinks, maybe.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Sweet. If you're good, we'll maybe do the loop back around and...
Yeah, that's fine.
Cool.
I'm thinking about the wording for the third belief. I did get the first one. I don't know if I'm like set with it. It's Tenna shouldn't defend the city. I must convince her to leave.
I love it. Nice. Sweet. Okay, awesome. Great.
Have you considered leaving Castile?
Have you considered leaving Castile?
Have you considered not Castile? Have you considered Ghost Island?
Try beautiful, not Castile.
Awesome. Sweet. Okay, so let's jump back around to Lord Wenzi. And Zach, if you want to take us through, I think we had one belief to follow up on, then you can share the instincts and traits.
Yeah. I got the first one rewritten a little better. I will use Robin's trial to direct blame for the storm at Tenna and expose the government as incompetent. Then I also slightly readjusted my third one to I'll use my new friendship, or whatever it is Dwin and I have got going on now, working relationship at least, to turn the religions of Castile against Octavia. I wanted to phrase it more of like getting them against her. Instincts. I never show up to a meeting unprepared. Always make sure others know my status, which just wait till somebody tries to not call me Lord in this thing. And then never leave Delilah alone for more than a day because she's my precious kin and I love her very much.
Nice.
Just instincts. You want anything else?
And tell us your traits as well, please.
Traits. So I think the only one I have that's not the basic Castile ones is your lordship. So you must call me Lord. And then it's the curious, devout, and gossip that everyone in Castile has, because as we've considered, they're bad actually.
Sweet. Do you also want to share the die traits? Just because I think those ones are. Or one
Oh,
of
did I
them
actually
is-
have some of those? Oh, I did have one of those. Sorry, yeah, I didn't realize those were in a separate place. So I've got Mark of Privilege, which makes it harder for me to pretend to be people of lower class. And then Scheming, which makes me good at Duel of Wits, which maybe we'll get into some of that.
Cool. Awesome. Let's hop over to Dwin.
Hello. Yes. So instincts. Because I think all my beliefs are kind of settled in. So.
Yep.
Always dream before making big decisions. If someone questions the ancestors, I can't help but educate them. And I never ask for directions.
Sweet.
And then the character traits, devout is the only one that's outside of the Castile. And then die traits, I have a few of those. I have believer. All faith obstacles used against believers are at -1 obstruction. Dreamer, character has dreams that the GM gives. They're always relevant to the game at hand. Lost, double instruction out of orienteering, navigation, or any perception to find the right direction. Touch of ages, I can read objects through touch. Perception test to learn emotion, arcana, even age. And well traveled, I basically gave me a new domain for my whole faith spirit summoning stuff. So
Sweet. And let's do Robin.
Hello. So this is how I've worded this belief, by the way, this third one. Castile is dying from the inside. It is not worth saving, and I must make sure everyone knows.
Oh, oof. Just
Hi.
Castile is a rotten husk. Throw it to the dogs.
Y'all, we need to burn it and start a new one.
oh,
Dang, we used up this whole Castile.
Oh no, we use it up. It's done.
sweet. Awesome. And do you
have you
want to
considered buying new?
Considered.
do you want to walk us through your instincts and traits?
Yes. Instincts. Always keep the weapon secret and available, which may be challenged very much in this setting. Never be alone with another person. If someone spouts political jargon, then I confound them with logic. That won't come up at all.
Nice.
And then as far as traits go, besides the gossip and curious, and I think devout is what we all have. I have the skinny trait, which doesn't have anything specific other than just very slight. Cramped hands from all of my times doing a bunch of secretarial work. Zealot, which gave me the extra belief about the politics are petty and all that jazz.
Yeah.
And catalyst, which when I make when I cause a conflict between two powerful personas or organizations, I'm the center of something great and terrible.
Is that going to come up this session? It could that happen?
Could that happen? No way.
Sweet. Awesome. Great. Fantastic. So that is our beliefs, instincts, and traits for our wonderful cast of characters. So I think what we'll do now is we're going to hop into our scenes. And I mentioned just before that the first one that I wanted to start off with was going to be a dream, as Dwin is a dreamer. And I'm going to see if I can get the music to function. Oh, technology, how do you work?
I mean, I hear music.
It's on my side. It's struggling.
Oh no.
It just started
Sweet.
for me. So.
Yeah, it just popped up way after. Apparently, Maria had it.
Yeah.
Okay.
First dibs.
First.
They're not
First.
getting it through the stream. So.
Yeah. It's not coming up on my computer, so you know what? Audience, we're just gonna imagine some nice spirity music for a little bit while we maybe figure this out. But music here nor there. We'll jump into the dream. So the first question I have is this gonna be the night before the trial that Dwayne is dreaming about this, or when?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so, because that's one of his instincts is he always sleeps on it. So.
Yeah, great. Awesome. So we begin to see the dream, and immediately it's really familiar. It's the two pillars. It starts off as the same dream. You see two pillars with each one that has a silhouetted figure on top of it. One of them is bound in these strings and looks like they're wearing sort of a bulkier set. And there is someone climbing up towards them also wearing sort of bulkier, looks like armor potentially. And then there's another one that has two people on it, and the thing that's distinctive about them is each of them is holding this sort of shiny rock in their hand. One on top of the pillars holding a shiny rock, and the one climbing also has a shiny rock, which I wonder what those could be.
It just clicked. It just clicked in my brain.
Uh-huh.
So, now that the player knowledge of that is there, we're gonna find out if this can become character knowledge. As the dream continues, before there was previously a bunch of clouds, and you weren't really sort of like an entity in your dream, but the clouds begin to clear, and you can sort of feel your embodiment of yourself in this dream, and you're standing on a hill on the other side of Castile. So you are on a hill, between you is Castile, and on the other side is these two pillars. You can't make out the details right now, but you figure if you got closer, you might be able to see something better. And you now have sort of like your consciousness about you if you are interested in doing something in your dream.
So I'm on the top of the hill. Castile is sort of below me, or sort
Yep.
of built up between me and the pillars.
It's sort of like the hill, and then below that is Castile. The hill is sort of giving you the vantage point right now to see the two
Okay.
pillars, and between you is Castile that you could potentially go through.
I think so. One of the things that Dwayne is super connected to is the stars.
Yes.
At least that's his like domain that he has the like the face tattoos for.
Yep.
It's kind of what his connection is. So he's not going to look down. He's going to look up and sort of step off the hill, hoping that he doesn't go down. He's going to try and walk up.
Okay. Cool. As you begin to do that, the stars in the sky begin to begin to shine oddly bright, and they keep getting brighter and brighter and brighter. And at this moment, you begin to realize as you're stepping, you slowly begin moving further down. But even when you're not stepping, you're still moving down as if you're sort of sinking into the ground.
Okay. So the stars are getting brighter as I'm sinking.
Yep.
I think Dwayne is going to try and reach up and grab something, or at least try to like struggle against this sinking feeling.
Okay. like a nearby tree or that kind of thing?
Yeah, we'll say something like that, yeah.
Okay.
Or something in the sky.
Okay. As you reach up and try and grab onto it, you can feel that the stars are betraying you. You asked for their help before, and now they want retribution. So remember when we summoned last time, and there's an odd
Yeah.
2 that
Yeah.
I have.
I've
Yeah.
been thinking about that since last session.
No, so have I.
Wonder if that's gonna come back to get us.
It's as if the stars don't want you to get whatever information is on the other side.
Need to look at my other domains real fast. Domains, come to me.
The stars are mad, but are one of the other things.
I've got other domains.
Stars are being haters right now.
Where is that listed on my character sheet? Character burner, maybe? That might be where
I think it's at the bottom of your first page, like the information where your beliefs, instincts, and traits are.
Yeah, because on the bottom there's like a note.
I've got it, yeah.
Miscellanea.
Okay, so I do have the city, the temple, knowledge, and kin. So I know what you're thinking, Wendy.
And
So I guess I kind of Dwin gives a knowing sigh and sort of begins trying to pull himself down to the city, to Castile.
Awesome. You begin making your way towards it.
Are there any kin, perchance?
That's a good question. I feel like there's a rule for this. I think this is probably just a will roll to see if
Okay.
you to see how yourself is able to pull things into your dreams.
Okay.
Um,
Modifiers? None.
I don't think any.
No Artha. Base obstacle?
Let's say it's ob2 because that's what the spirit
Okay.
is. Nice. Yeah, so you are able to pull into your dream through your force of will kin, and they begin to sort of like filling up and migrating through the streets, and they begin to appear.
I'm gonna watch kind of how their movements go throughout the city. I'm kind of watching to see if there's if they're disturbing the city or how they're sort of integrating, I guess.
Yeah. So I think sort of in the nature of a dream, a lot of them just like show up and start looking at you. They're just like, what is this? We haven't seen one of these before.
Yeah. I'm just gonna reach out and touch the nearest one.
Yep, and it looks down at you. Maybe
Just kind of. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say it's maybe a long neck or
Yeah.
similar.
It's a Castile, Matthew. Yeah, so I'm gonna give it a look and then look to the pillars. And then kind of just see if it'll and then start walking that direction. See if they'll follow or what.
Yep, and they begin to follow, and you sort of head that direction, and they begin going with you.
Mm-hmm. And then as we get close to the pillars, I'm going to turn to the long neck that I sort of acknowledged and kind of look up, trying to intimate that I would like to be raised up to look.
Yeah. So as you are going through Castile, you get into sort of like the Valley of Castile enough that it's tough to see where the pillars are, and you begin to have a bit trouble telling where you're going. Do you want to make an orienteering test to see if we
Yes.
can get through Castile?
This is not where I thought this would come up.
Oh, I get lost even in my dreams.
Head stuck in the clouds, you know?
Orienteering. What kind of role is that?
That is a great question. So this will be beginner's luck because I don't think you have that skill.
Yeah, so would I add that to being learned?
Yep. And I'm just going to
Yeah,
look up
so-
what it's based off of. I think it's based off of perception. Yeah, it's based off of perception.
Okay, so got that set up. No modifiers. Actually, minus... No, that's obstruction that goes on, I believe.
Yeah, it'll actually that's a good
I'm
question.
getting lost. So, lost double obstruction on orienteering navigation.
Interesting. Okay.
So
I
the
thought it-
obstruction doubles.
Okay. Okay, for some reason I thought it was +2, but that makes sense. So, the obstacle is going to be ob2, because that's the strength of the stars. And this is beginner's luck, so that's going to double again to an 8.
Okay, great.
Yeah. So, interesting.
I'm assuming you almost certainly can't hit that.
Unless I get some good explosions.
Okay, I think that's not quite right. I don't think we double the doubling. So I think how it works is it'll be base 2 with a modifier of 2, which will make it ob 6 in total. So
Okay. Let me restart that then.
yeah, sorry, I had to think it through in my head, but I think that's how
Yeah.
it's gonna
And then
pan out.
spending a Ratha. Got some last week, I think. So
Yep. Yeah, it's up to you.
yeah, that's Fate or Persona on this.
So you can spend Persona beforehand to get extra dice, and then you can spend Fate afterwards to explode the 6s.
Yeah. Wait, you have to spend Fate to explode 6s? I thought it was
Yes.
to re-roll.
Yeah, so on the character sheet, right under on stats and skills, right under the Artha, there's actually a little like drop down menu for spending Artha
Oh,
that
I
actually
see
breaks
that
down
now.
all the things.
Oh, neat.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
So,
I gotcha.
Some of your
I
skills,
see what you mean.
yeah, some of your skills were open-ended, like your spirit summoning is. So in that case, you get to re-roll a dice. But if it's not open-ended already, then it makes it open-ended.
Gotcha. Well, I'm not gonna spend any Artha. And then base 2.
And
Additional complications?
this is the extra 2 from being lost.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So if you put it there, it won't get doubled by roll 20. Cool.
Doing great, folks.
Ooh, oofta.
Fendi.
All right. So, as it is a difficult. I need to double check where this test goes, but I think it goes into your perception. Because it's difficult, it doesn't go towards learning it. It'll go towards advancing your stat instead. I'm going to make a note to double check that, but I think that's how that works.
Okay.
Cool. So you and all these kin are sort of moving towards these pillars, and as you do, you are continually sort of like sinking into the ground, and you eventually get to this point where like you're just inches above the ground, and you are trying to push through to get to the pillars to see what it looks like, but suddenly your eyes open up and you're awake. Cool. Yeah. So there's that dream that happened. Does Dwayne have any like particular thoughts or anything that you want to share?
I think it's frustration, but understanding that he kind of paid his price this morning.
Yep.
So, sort of a dichotomy of like, yeah, okay, fine, but what the hell now, spirits? Like, come on, ancestors. I got work to do today.
Yeah. Sweet. So I got rid of the retribution, so that's gone, and it will never come back. The spirits are appeased. And I think with that we can get to the trial, unless there's anything in particular that we want to just like hash out beforehand, or anything in particular. Does anyone have anything that they want to go for?
I don't think I do. I want to see kind of what the setup of the trial is going to look like before I try and
Mm-hmm.
do anything.
Cool. So last time we did show... Oh, Marie, did you have... Yes? Go for it.
Put it down.
Do it.
I'm not gonna put it down yet. Maybe.
I gather my arson supplies.
Have you considered a preemptive strike?
Have I considered?
You can't be put on
talking-
trial if there's nowhere to hold the trial.
I want to talk to Tana the night before.
Oh. Okay. Are you going to the Ivory Tower too?
If that's where she is, or to her home if that's where she is. I would prefer if it's somewhere not the Ivory Tower, but I don't know if I don't remember if she lives there or not. I would assume that she would.
It's a good question. I think Tenna probably does have a home, and I think she's probably been spending a lot of time there in the immediate recency. So let's maybe have it at her home, if that sounds good to you.
Okay.
Okay. So I imagine Tenna has sort of like a mayoral estate. Like it's
It's the antithesis of what Robin is living in right now, which is essentially a glorified leaky shack. It's
Yep.
the opposite of that.
Yeah, it's a pretty well off house, I would say. And you get there, sort of like lanterns are lit, that kind of stuff. The door is there. Do you want to sort of imagine that we've gone through like the introductions and stuff, and that you're already like conversing in one of the rooms, or do you want to go through like knocking on the door and that stuff?
I'm not sure, because Robin definitely would not have announced that she was going to be there, because from a outside perspective, she is trying to accomplish one of two things. One,
Yeah.
convince Tenna to leave tonight forever with Robin forever. Or
Oh,
two, get them like flustered enough that when the trial actually starts, they'll be so distracted that it's not going to go the way that they want it to go. Because everything always goes the way that they want it to go.
okay.
Those are the motivations. So I don't think that Robin would have announced her arrival necessarily.
Mhm.
I would like to try to enter in an unconventional manner,
Oh,
as in not through the front door.
like a
kind of-
window, or
I get out my arsons.
Like through the wall that I burned down.
Make a door.
Yeah, through like a window or like a second floor or something that is not that is unorthodox, that may throw someone off if all of a sudden someone that is just all of a sudden in your house.
yeah. Okay, so this sounds to me like it's probably a stealthy test.
Whoa.
I think, unless you have one other, a different one in mind.
No, that sounds very much like an inconspicuous thing, which is what I'm trying. I'm starting to learn how to be inconspicuous. I'm not very good at it.
Do, 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 do. I think I'm just gonna compare. So there's stealthy and there's inconspicuous, and they're two different ones. Or is there?
Oh, I could. Yeah, I think inconspicuous is like trying to go unnoticed in a crowd. That's not like what I'm trying to do.
Sorry, you're saying that is what you're trying to do, or you're not trying to do?
No, I'm not. Well, I mean, there's not really a crowd if this is the night before.
Right. That's sort of what I'm thinking.
Yeah. Stealthy. The ability to use camouflage, natural surroundings, shadows, light, and quiet step. Quiet. Oh, a quiet step. To move undetected. That's the one that I definitely don't have.
What's the page number for that? I'm like
301.
Oh, interesting. Oh, there. Oh my god, I'm blind. It's like right there. Okay, yeah. I think this is actually like pretty reasonable that you could succeed though, because Tenna, this will be versus Tenna's role, and you've got a lot of advantages in this situation.
Yay.
Cool. It is based off of speed,
Which is fine. I have a lot of speed.
Yeah.
I haven't used a lot of it, but I have it.
Cool. And I'm gonna give Tenna observation to start learning. Oops. Okay, so I'll do Tenna's roll really quick first, just so that we can see what your obstacle is gonna be.
Sure.
But I don't think Tenna is. I think Tenna's gonna struggle on this. Modifiers. Base of 1. Cool. And let's get the screen set up. Okay, so Tenna got 2 successes, which is essentially 1 success because she was doing it at beginner's luck. So you just have to get 2 successes yourself, essentially.
Okay. Okay. So stealthy uses speed. The boop. Okay. Any modifiers?
You get some from. You get extra dice because it's dark and it's nighttime.
Okay. Yeah, because it says give advantage to stealthy for light, weather, and ground conditions.
Yeah. Let's maybe say 1 extra dice.
Okay. Oh, not binary. There we go. Okay. Arthur, dude, I don't want to say. I don't really think I'd need to spend it right now. Oh well, I have 5. Oh, but I have a trial tomorrow. Okay, no, this isn't that important. Okay. Okay. Base ob is
1.
excellent.
Yeah. And
Additional complications.
Nope.
No. I've
Nice.
done it.
Cool. And then you can mark the test.
Yay.
Sweet. So you're able to get into Tenna's abode. Tell us, do you go through a window? Do you sort of like jimmy the back door, or what's the method there?
I think from my time that I spent with Tenna, which was significant, I know that on the 2nd floor there's always a window that never locked, and I want to get up to that window.
Okay, so maybe like there's a tree nearby and you sort of like boop 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 inside.
Yeah.
And okay.
Yep.
So you are there, you get in, and Tenna sort of walks up and is like, what?
Hello. I know this is a bit sudden. I wanted to talk to you. Like, The real you.
The real me the night before the trial that I am going to adjudicate for.
Yep.
All right. Tenna's gonna like go over to the window and like take a peek outside, just like see if anyone like saw or anything. She comes back and sits down and is like, let's talk.
Is there any alcohol around?
There's maybe some like, you know how in Game of Thrones there's always like those wine things. Yeah, maybe
Excellent.
one of those.
I'm gonna go pour a couple of glasses and bring it over and offer her one of
Okay.
her own drink.
Here's your own drink from
Here's
your
your
own
own
place.
beverage.
She'll take it and
Okay.
yeah.
I will say it. I have been thinking a lot. And it's been mostly about what you said a couple days ago. And I have been considering this place and everything else, and Hannah, I don't think it's worth saving. I really don't. And I don't think it's worth your time trying to save something that's already broken.
Tenna is very like she keeps trying to say something. She just keeps trying to like put words out, and they just come out as gaffes every time she does so. And eventually she says, you don't think that this place we have worked to build together is worth protecting?
Not what it's become. It's a place where we hoard valuable resources from people that we deem unworthy. It's a place where there's... I don't know how often you get out these days, but word gets out really fast, and a lot of it is taken out of context, and it's the whole city. The whole city is this way. And people are just following the things that they're told. They're not thinking for themselves, which I always thought that was the reason that we wanted to change, is because the world we saw wasn't right. But now the world that I'm seeing is just as wrong. And I don't think we can save it.
I think there's a role here. It's a bit early, but I know like Tenna is between two spots.
Is this an ugly truth? Because I do have that
Ooh.
skill I'm trying to learn.
This is indeed an ugly truth. This is like, I think, prime ugly truth.
An extremely ugly truth.
The ugliest of truths. Hey, this city that you love so much, it sucks.
Remember when we founded a city? Oh.
Remember that time you and I staged a coup? Did we fix it? No.
Who knew a government founded on a coup would end up like this?
Who knew, right?
So now the intent of this is important because that's going to determine how difficult this ugly truth is. Are you trying to appeal to Tenna on sort of like the relationship that you have and that part, or are you trying to appeal on a political level? Because the direction that you go is going to have an impact on how tough this is.
I think based on the conversations that I've had with her, I've tried to go from a personal perspective and it hasn't worked. So I think for this particular persuasive attempt, I'm gonna go at the thing that she seems to care about more, which is this political circle.
Yeah. Okay. Great. So that does make it tougher.
Oh, good. Oh, sweet. Perfect. Awesome.
I'm just reading the thing for Ugly Truth right now. It says, Ugly Truth about a complex political situation is Ob 4.
Oh, nice. Oh, boy.
The other one is Ugly Truth about family was Ob 2, which is sort of like the... where that goes. You can change your mind if you want.
No, I think that's where her brain is. She thinks that, she kind of cares more about how the politics of this place works. So I'm gonna try to appeal to that this time.
Okay. This is gonna be a pretty tough role, but we can definitely give it a shot.
You can certainly try. Okay. Okay. Modifiers, none?
I think you do have a modifier because you successfully broke in, and that's put her off her guard.
Excellent.
Yeah.
That'll help. Okay. I'm gonna spend a persona.
Okay.
I think this is... I can't spend multiple at one time, can I?
You can spend up to 3.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Keep in mind, though, this is still beginner's luck, so it's going to double to Ob 8, which is like a tough cookie.
Yep. I only have 3%. I'm still gonna... I think this is important, so I'm gonna spend 2 persona.
Okay.
Well, not 6 persona. That's... I wish. Cool. Okay. Base ob is
4.
4.
Yeah.
Okay. Additional complications, any that you can...
Nope. No.
Oh, jeez.
It's complicated enough.
I've never been so stressed. Okay.
Oof.
Well, that failed about as hard as it could have.
No 6s either.
Nope.
Okay. One thing that I was actually forgetting, when we spend persona and fate, we should try to track where it goes loosely. So the 2 things we'll mark here is you have a difficult test. Since it's difficult, it goes on your perception skill rather than ugly truth. Only routine tests will go into learning. And you can spend your persona, the 2 that you spent, and put those into perception as well. Just those little bubbles beside. I think the bottom one is...
Yeah, I had 1 in there already, so now I have 3 in there.
Nice.
And also, I filled up my 2 difficult bubbles for perception.
Cool. So
That matters.
once you get a challenging test, it'll advance to 5 dice. Yeah.
Huzzah!
So try and perceive something super difficult, and
Okay.
there it goes.
I'll try to see spirits.
All right, so Tenna has another moment where she thinks for a second, and she says, "You say that Castile isn't worth saving, that it's not what it used to be, and it's become something bad, but I still am Castile." And if Castile isn't something that can be saved, then neither can I. And I've become something that isn't what it used to be either. But only because I did what was demanded of me.
I choose not to believe that. I came here hoping that maybe, just maybe, you were a little bit fed up with this place, but I guess not. I guess you are Castile.
Maybe in the future you could consider that.
I think in the future I might not have to. I'm going to set my untouched drink down. And I'm going to stand up and say, suppose this means you don't want to just leave.
I'll consider it after.
Right. And then I leave. I really want to set something on fire. But I don't want to set Robin's house on... Not Robin.
This is my house now.
This is my house now. No. I don't
I'll
wanna...
show you how there's nothing left here.
I don't... I don't want to kill Tenna. But...
No, you set it far away from her and give her time to get out.
I do want to go... I want to try to set the ivory tower on fire. Please.
Okay.
Please.
Let's go take a look at the arson skill.
Hey, that skill that I've had since the beginning.
I think this is the first time we're using a skill that isn't beginner's luck. So
This
we're
is
gonna
100%
We're all just
correct.
leaning into our real skills.
Also,
I'm gonna find something today and it's gonna be good.
if it matters, I do have streetwise, so I'm trying to go the most direct path that is also the most unnoticed.
Oh yeah, I think it's like it's nighttime.
Yeah.
If someone's walking around, it's fine. I don't think people would be able to tell that you're Robin in this situation. I think it's yeah. I think that's a given for.
It's because they can't see my gun. It's fine.
Okay, awesome. So let's take a look at the arson skill.
Let us please.
Let's indulge the audience in some arson. This skill allows the character to use common household items to quickly set a building on fire. The obstacle is based off of the kind of building that's being set upon fire. This one does require tools, but let's assume that you... Or actually, that's a good question. What materials are you going to use? The weapon?
It is the most convenient tool that I have.
The other one is a resources test. 0 resources. That's not actually an option. Okay. Yeah. How do you want to get the materials for this?
Well, here's the thing about the tower.
Yeah.
It stores a lot of knowledge. A
Oh,
lot of it is written knowledge that is hoarded over generations. That seems like some real good kindling.
okay. And what's the fire starter gonna be?
I. Hmm. I essentially want to find and or take a bottle of alcohol. I want to make a Molotov cocktail essentially, but I also want to drink like half the bottle on the way there.
It can't be all the way full. You gotta.
Yeah, you gotta
Obviously.
make space.
It's
Yep.
for the
Mhm.
yeah. It's for the setup.
Oxygen and all that, whatever.
Yeah, there's some science stuff happening.
Also, the alcohol makes you a better shot, so it's fine.
It makes
Yeah,
it easier to do.
Calms
the
you
waste.
down, so
Yeah. More focused. Focused. Sure.
Okay, and so I have the same question for the Molotov cocktail. What's the ignition? What is?
God. Oh dear God. You know what? I'm not gonna use a Molotov cocktail. I'm just gonna hope.
I mean, there's got to be a torch or an oil lamp somewhere. Like maybe not somewhere
Yeah.
easy to get to, but there's
Okay.
one somewhere.
Yeah.
Even
yeah.
if you have to Batman back into somebody else's house.
This is true. Oh, well, I'll just grab one from because you said that there was lanterns,
Just
not
grab a
in
candle at a tennis place.
not no, like outside the estate somewhere, like
Yeah.
lanterns hanging.
I think there's like
I'll
lamps.
just grab one of those.
Okay.
I'll just go over there and I can easily grab it. I don't
Yep.
feel bad about taking a light source from.
You
know,
took everything from me. I
Cecile.
get this.
Yes, right.
Okay, cool. Yep. So that's that.
God,
that.
if this works, how poignant would it be?
So I'm looking at the obs for this.
Arson
I'm,
obs.
Yep, it's definitely going to advance your arson skill, one way or another.
Excellent.
So we'll get to do that. So here's the thing: what do we think an ivory tower is? I don't think it's a manor. I think it's bigger than that. The next one up is fortress.
It's like right on the line, right? Like
Yeah.
it's bigger than a manor because it's kind of more of a
Tower.
administrative building. It's
Mhm.
it's a tower.
Yeah.
But like fortress is like almost a little extreme because it doesn't seem like it'd be like well fortified.
There was a wall that we tried to
Yes.
build, and then we didn't get it done.
It's like 3/4 of a wall built around it.
So
but you
it's
can get right
almost a
past that.
fortress. If the wall finished, it would have been a fortress.
Okay.
4.5.
Let's
4.5. Or no, 3.5 because it's like almost a fortress.
3/4.
Three-quarter fourths.
Interesting. So, I imagine that the ivory tower is bigger than Tenna's manor.
Mhm.
So I'm leaning towards the fortress if we're in between.
And I mean that makes sense.
Yeah, it's also a pretty significant thing. So
It's you
we've
know,
got that.
as it is.
It's time to spend all that art that you've got stocked up.
Yep.
Okay,
We
so
need this.
this is the first time we've done a not beginner's luck test, so we've got a few extra things that we can add in. The great
Excellent.
thing about this is you can fork in other skills, which will give you extra dice potentially, and that's hopefully going to be helpful. Basically, if there are other skills that are relevant, we can add those in, and we can also see if there's any other ones that might apply. Cool. I'm gonna bring
know.
up. Oh, go
All
ahead.
of my skills are like,
Streetwise is the only one that seems like maybe.
yeah.
As in
'Cause all
like
the other ones are like,
keeping yourself from getting caught as you
yeah.
work on this.
And also, knowing what side of the building to set on fire so I don't set the whole city on fire.
Yep.
bureaucracy. You know this building. You know where all the good, easily.
Rule of law. I know what's
Let
going to
it-
happen if I get caught. I will actually get tried for an actual crime.
You'll finally be guilty of something for
you
real.
know? For real this time.
Okay,
At that
so
point, I think we cut our losses, Lindsay.
Oh, defend
Yeah,
me.
I don't even know what I'm gonna do if she burns down the whole tower.
You'll never know.
I'll suspect, I think.
No. No one will know. Well, here's the thing. Never mind.
Oh.
That's in my head. It's gonna stay in my head. I'll share it if it becomes relevant later.
Okay.
okay. So obstacle 5.
Okay.
It's not going to
Okay.
get doubled because it's not beginner's luck, so we're still going to need some luck on the dice to actually hit that, but we can get there. The other thing is the failure case. What happens if this doesn't succeed?
Hmm.
Oh, Tara?
I think we have a volunteer.
I was gonna say I have a suggestion.
Please.
I think that it's not like Castile leaves the every tower unguarded. So I think the fail state is you get caught.
Yeah, I think it's get caught. It's not just
I
like
think it's get caught. I think it's absolutely
Like
Burn
not
yourself
fail.
down.
It's you
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, yep. Let's do that. Sweet. And I think we can go give that roll a shot and try that out.
Okay. Do I have any modifiers to add? I think I have any bonus modifiers.
I don't think there's any modifiers either.
Okay.
yeah. Are you planning on using? I don't remember which of the types of Artha it is that you have to do beforehand.
Persona, my
Persona.
one persona that I have because I decided to spend 2 on that impossible task.
Look, you wanted to go
Yes.
the polite route.
You know what? Yes. I'm
Okay.
gonna go with yes. Okay. Base ob 5.
Yep. And then you're oh, you get your
It didn't
fourth
give me the
dice.
option. It didn't give me the option.
Right. Do you just want to roll 1d6
Oh yeah.
in roll 20? I think that goes in the bonus thing.
Oh
potentially.
yeah. Okay, so I did roll a 6.
Yep. You could
So
get
I am
lucky and get up to
Yeah,
5.
so you're at
I am, 'cause
3
I have,
total,
like-
right?
yes, I'm at 3 total.
Yep.
Because I have like 100 million of them. Okay.
Okay.
Please love me, please.
Bum, bum, bum.
Oh no.
So I'm gonna add a little bit of flavor to this. As you're like doing this and getting stuff set up, literally, let's say like as you have it lit, maybe, potentially, or no, not lit, because then it's gonna explode and that'll be bad. As you're like holding it and you have the lantern, you're getting ready, and Tana is coming with some papers to meet some of the guards, and just as they sort of like get close to each other, they realize there's this light over there, and they take a peek, and that happens.
Okay.
And I
Do
think
have-
oh, go ahead.
It's obviously the tower will not burn. However, I do want to make a point,
Hmm.
and I do want to, I do want to throw it anyway,
Okay.
even with them watching. To
Yeah.
make a point.
Yeah, and I think that's easy to do.
And then
I
I'll just stand there. Then I'll just let them do whatever.
yeah.
It's fine. Although I'm just gonna be looking at like directly at Tenna the entire time.
Okay. Yep. So you throw the Molotov cocktail, it explodes, but it doesn't catch fire or anything. And the 2 guards come and escort you. And
Yeah, I was
basically-
aiming for as much burnable like books and stuff as I possibly could
Yeah.
damage in one fell swoop.
Okay. Awesome. And Tenna is just like ice dagger eyes, like the whole
I
time.
stagger eyes right back. Well, more
Yeah.
like
Do they have an
fire
exchange, or
eyes.
is it just like they lock eyes and that's that?
Tenna won't engage in this situation. She's not gonna have any communication. And with
Oh, I will, as they're taking me away.
yep,
Simply say to Tenna, shouting down the hall if I have to,
yep.
I told you that Castile was dead.
She still is just silent.
That's fine.
Okay.
Yes, Matthew Foreman, I absolutely got caught.
Interesting.
This was going well for Robin.
Interesting. All right,
Big
so
plays this session.
Oof.
let's do sort of our time jump to the trial. Basically, you're being brought in as someone who's under arrest completely now. And let's sort of, we saw a brief picture of what the trial looked like, but let's revisit that so we can sort of fill in with some detail and remember what happened. I'm imagining it's sort of like a very noble court, not like a modern day court. So like there's balconies where, you know, people can come and watch who are like important or whatever. And there's sort of an open space with like a speaking pad, and there's everyone is sort of moved in. The procession is ready. Is there anything that Dwin or Wenzi in particular sort of would like bring in with them, or what they look like aside from just like moving in and joining with the crowd?
Give me a second to remember if I bought fineries. See
Yes,
if I
although-
have fancy clothes.
If you have fancy clothes, you can
I
definitely.
think no, but
They do cost money or resources.
yeah, I was like on the fence about buying them. It looks like I did not.
Okay.
Sad.
I mean, you can wear.
I could do it for it.
Yeah,
Wait, a resource roll?
to get nice clothes.
Oh yeah. I think Speaker Dwin is just in his like normal temple garb. He does have his circination tools with him,
Okay.
Just in case.
and has them like in a small satchel off to the side. He shows up about 5 minutes late.
Sorry, I couldn't find the door.
Yeah. Just
Went
walked
to the
around
wrong
the
trial room.
just walked around the building for a while.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Awesome. So
Couldn't find the bathroom.
still like seeing Castile from your dream and trying to go where it is in the dream. Awesome. So everyone moves in, everyone gets ready, sort of takes their seats. There's a few like opening processions and remarks, but essentially we get to the part where Tenna moves up and is going to make the beginning stuff, and she says, welcome everyone for the trial for Robin, in which we determine the guilt amongst accusations of the arcane storm that hit Castile earlier in our history. We have, in this case, will allow everyone a chance to speak and go from there. All the relevant parties a chance to speak. With that, I would like to hand it over to the council. And council, you can please give your opening remarks to this trial, and we will proceed from there. To which someone from the trial or from the council stands up. It looks like General Palpatine, like we mentioned before, because I feel like I want them to look evil. And they stand up and say, "Thank you, Tenna, for welcoming us and setting us up for this trial. The first remark that we would like to make is that due to a conflict of interest, we as the council have decided that you will not have any decisionary power in this trial. Please go sit down by Robin now and join them for this." At which point, so this has some new flavor to it. Tenna will just like go and sit down. Let's sort of picture a little bit of where people are seated. I imagine that Wenzi, as the parole officer, is maybe close to Robin, but
Yeah, like in some sort of bailiff adjacent position, probably. Like nearby, seated at the end of whatever seating gallery they have for Robin and company.
yeah. And where's Wenzi in this sort of group of people?
You
Imagining
mean
that there's-
Dwayne?
Same place still.
Wenzi is where Wenzi was just a second ago.
He's
He's-
Now, my character, Speaker Dwayne, is probably someplace different, if that's
Yeah.
what you're inquiring about.
That is what I'm inquiring about, yes.
So, I think Dwayne has found a seat, sort of near Ash, but not right next to them.
Okay.
So,
sure.
like, kind of in the same vicinity, maybe like a row or two back, and it's just like kind of like pining and feeling bad about the way the conversation went yesterday, or however many days ago that was.
Yeah. Awesome. Could I get actual Lord Wenzi to do a perception check? Not Speaker Dwin Wenzi.
All right, yeah. If I could find my sheet. Let's see. I don't believe I have perception. Wait, no,
It's
perception.
a
is-
stat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let me click it. I'm assuming doesn't matter base obstacle. Are you just getting
No, I have a specific one in mind. Just let me figure that out
all right.
really quickly. Oh, I should have figured this out beforehand. This is
Your
gonna...
audience. My perception is not especially good.
Oh, interesting.
It's fine, but
This will just be Op 3. Okay,
yeet.
cool. So you get that test, and
Oh, yeah, I get a that's a difficult test for that one.
Yep. And as players, this is what we see, not as characters because the perception chest didn't go through. But Tenna goes and is going to sit down beside Wenzi rather than Robin. She doesn't. Tenna is having a. Tenna's in a situation right now and needs to figure things out. But as
What a
players,
great person to be beside then. Figure some stuff out with.
as players, Lord Wenzi are sort of like looking onto the trial and stuff. Tenna leans forward and just sort of like begins to rub her eyes and like rub her face in frustration, and she bends over just a bit, and I imagine she has this sort of like knee-length coat on, and you can see as players, just as players, this little like
For now.
bump sticking out of her back. Just like it looks like a stick or something is, you know, in the back of
Don't
her
worry, I'll
pants.
turn that into character knowledge. Just you wait.
And I think with that, we can maybe hop to a 5-minute break to collect ourselves, and then
Yeah, I
we'll,
got some scheming to do.
we'll jump into the crunchy goodness of what's about to happen. All right, awesome. So I will hop us over to the intermission screen, and we'll be back in like 5 or 10 minutes. Hello and welcome back to Castile. Please consider us. And
Thank you for considering Castile.
yes,
We hope you enjoy your trip.
please come again. We are going to hop into the trial. So I think what this is going to look like is really soon we're going to jump into one of the subsystems of Burning Wheel. And but before we do that, though, we can't just like jump into the Duel of Wits. We have to figure out like what it's going to be about. So I think what we're going to see is maybe probably starting with Lord Wenzi talking about, as the parole officer, like what his opinions and thoughts are and what they are sort of viewing on the situation. If you're okay with that.
Also,
Yeah.
just realized it's probably not going to look good for Lord Wenzi, the fact that his parolee tried to burn down the Ivory Tower last night.
Look, we all slip up every now and then. You can't keep track of them at all times.
Yeah, that is true. Like we know it's a daily check-in, not a forever thing, but
That's
yeah.
true.
Sweet.
I'm not there at all times. Maybe I should have been.
So I think what will happen is the council will say, we would like to bring first the parole officer up, Lord, or I guess you should maybe introduce yourself because they might not, maybe they know, but we'll let Lord Wendy
I'd assume they'd
introduce.
know if they're going to call me up. They'd probably know me.
Yeah, that's true. So they'll call you up. They will address you Lord Wenzi. They're going to respect that. And say, Lord Wenzi, please come up and give some opening remarks on your experiences with the one on trial, please.
Yeah, so I head up. I assume it's like council table, like witness stand situation. Similar, or not
Yeah.
witness stand, but like similar-ish to a modern setup.
A little bit. I'm also imagining a little bit of like how it would be again in Game of Thrones, where it's like a speaking platform, which
Okay.
has like it's designed so that your voice will speak to everyone. So maybe it's a little bit propped up and like quite open, I would say.
Yeah, so is this like just me giving a rundown, or are they like questioning me?
I think they're looking for your opinions on things. Like they might ask, for example, like what do you think about Robin's connection to the storm? How have they been as you've worked with them through your parole officer work? Stuff like that. It's a little bit broad and open-ended, but basically it's an opportunity to start using your beliefs and moving them into what you want to accomplish here.
Trying to think how much gun talk to do. Probably none to start out with, but see how it goes.
Yeah, you can ask
Yeah.
the council too if you want to, like, have a conversational.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out, like, do they offer an opening question, or they just bring me up and say, "Hey, speak"?
They bring you up and say, please give your opening remarks. We'd like to know, what is your impression of Robin? Do you believe that they were involved in the Arcane Storm?
Yes, of course. I've obviously only known Robin, well, first and foremost as a public figure, one involved in the city government here of Castile. But other than that, only as the appointed officer, so to speak, to keep track of her in the intervening weeks between the storm and her trial. Since then, I will admit that our relationship has been a bit cold. We have not really gotten to know each other especially well, which is to be expected, I suppose. But I've really seen no indication one way or another that either she was or was not involved in the Arcane Storm. I don't know that I'm really the person to speak to that, honestly. Obviously didn't give me any sort of confession outright, or we wouldn't be here at this point still trying to determine her guilt.
The council will chime in and say, if you are uncertain of the actual matter events, do you think Robin would be capable of this? Of involvement in the Arcane Storm?
From what I've seen, I don't believe so. She doesn't seem usually it's pretty clear if someone possesses that sort of arcane power. No ordinary citizen can usually just conjure up a storm out of nothing like that. So, at least from what I have seen, I don't believe that she could just use whatever magics are at one's disposal to create some sort of superstorm to direct at the city.
Yeah. Do you want to roll a falsehood about that? No.
Well,
arcane?
okay, it wasn't exactly a falsehood, but it
That's
kind of
true.
was.
You
It was
don't know.
adjacent to falsehood.
Yeah.
Like, she directly can't do those things, and I'm fairly certain of those.
That's true. That's true. Because Lord Wensley
I'm
doesn't
not lying,
know
but
about
yeah.
like the pistol's actual capabilities. Like, although
yeah, did we? Adjacent. I can't remember exactly how we came down on that from Dwin's
yeah.
certification.
It was revealed that while Robin didn't cause the storm, firing the gun in anger is what set it off.
Mm-hmm.
Correct?
Yes.
Yep.
So, but it wasn't intentional? Question mark, question mark, question mark?
Yeah, so like she directly couldn't have caused the storm. That's still mostly true. So I don't know where we land on that, if that turns that into falsehood or rhetoric or
So,
persuasion, or if we get into duel of wits or what.
you know what? Maybe let's say that that's sort of where it is, and that'll probably lead into what your position will be in the duel of wits.
Okay.
Yeah, and the council just sort of like note that, take it in,
Mm-hmm.
so forth.
Yeah, I just make it clear that personally she couldn't have conjured a storm,
Mhm.
and leave it at that mostly.
Yeah. Okay, sweet. I think next up would be probably Robin's chance to sort of immediately address, and then we would get sort of the spirits consultation on behalf through Speaker Dwin, potentially, if that makes sense. Cool. So they'll sort of do like a person swap, bring Robin up, and the council will say, Robin, you are under trial for this arcane storm. We need to determine if you were involved or if there's any fault of yours to be had here. Could you please address some of the rumors or this accusation the best that you can? Again, it's open-ended, so take it where you want and that kind of stuff.
I think Robin stands there for a second. And then, not addressing the council per se, but like the people.
Yep.
We'll just kind of like spin in place, just kind of addressing everyone, and say, I helped build Castile into what it is today through mine and Tenna's actions, which I will gesture. We were able to usher in something of a new era to this place. It seems then to me a bit outlandish why I would intentionally try to destroy something that I created. Or rather, I'm going to rephrase because she would have said it differently. Intentionally try to destroy something that I created in this manner. I've lived here my entire life. Many people in this room know me. There is no way that I would have been able to create this storm. That's a lie, though.
Yeah, you got to dance around her eyes a little more carefully.
She's a lot of things. She's not super subtle. She's hoping to stab at the heart of the people. Okay, hang on. Can I back up and try rephrasing that?
Oh yeah, for sure, definitely.
Okay. Instead of being just a bad liar. She's gonna continue with, you all know me. You know me. And these rumors and this slander do nothing more than paint you all in a bad light. I would hope that you would all know me enough to determine that this accusation is false. Unless you choose otherwise, I would like to try to argue for the skill oratory.
Yep.
Sweet, I have that skill.
I'm gonna open that up in my book here.
Oh, as an aside, for that arson skill that I did,
Yes.
was that a difficult task, or was that a challenge?
It was
level?
challenging. Yeah. In roll 20,
excellent.
it'll actually have a little label on each test.
Yeah, and like the dark
I
right
see
under the
it.
name.
Yes, I see it.
Yeah.
Fantastic, because I needed a challenging task.
Yes. So that gives you 2 out of 3 of your bubbles, so that'll advance your arson right now.
Oh.
Yep. Yeah.
Tip dang.
Yeah.
Excellent.
You only need to do 2 out of 3 of them, I think.
Oh, sweet.
I'll double check, but I think it advances.
Sure.
So that'll go up to level 3, it looks like, and then all the tests will get cleared out.
It doesn't want to clear itself out.
There's like a hidden button just to the left. It only appears when you hover over it. Like, yeah, it's kind of
magic.
sneaky. Yeah, cool. So oratory is the ability to rouse the masses with a stirring speech. It teaches how to project the voice and speaking techniques to get the point across. I do think this is exactly that, but I think this is going to lead into the Duel of Wits, which is where we'll do that roll for that case. And I think we'll sort of hold that roll and then jump over to Wenzi if that sounds good.
Sounds great.
Cool. Awesome. So at this point...
You mean Dwin again?
God. You know what I did? When we were on break, I accidentally opened the wrong character sheet. And I was like, no, I'm not doing this anymore.
Love you, Corey.
While we're working on this, I'm going to get a little index card and properly label things so I can see that. The council...
Beside your monitors, like, Dwin, Wenzi.
Honestly, yes, if I had sticky notes, that's exactly...
We just have 2 Lord Wenzies, that's fine. I'm playing your evil twinsy.
Oh no.
Terry.
Out of here.
So the council...
That was my one.
The council will ask Dwin to come on up and say, we would like to hear the opinions of what the Church of the Ancestors believes on the arcane matters as well. If you've had anything in particular with Robin and would know otherwise, please present to the audience.
Dwin is going to just sort of bow deeply. I thank the council for remembering the Church of the Ancestors in this trial, as our place is amongst the people of this city, and we wish to see it prosper. I have spent some time in consultation with our ancestors, And they have divined to me that Robin is not the cause of the storm, but merely a manipulated tool. And to further play, I know it wasn't the plan, I'm sorry. To further play and prostrate the church before Castile, I will, with the council's blessing, summon the ancestors of the city and of knowledge to hopefully demonstrate both what you wish to seek and what the church wishes to divine.
Okay, awesome. The council will say that would be excellent if there could be a demonstration within this context, and we will perhaps hold that as we move further in.
I will need time to prepare, so...
So, player question: are you gonna spend? How many hours are you gonna spend drawing?
I'm gonna go to the back of the room and just start drawing out circles.
He just goes in one of the aisles.
Okay, and so thinking ahead, how many dice are you gonna try and get from this? Like, because one dice per hour, essentially.
Yeah, and I said I was gonna do it twice, so I think I'm gonna spend basically an hour each. Just quick ones, just to try and kind of
Fire up a couple of real quick questions.
Okay, and the two things that you were gonna summon were city and knowledge?
Yes.
Okay. Piecing that together. So I don't think...
Sorry, I went rogue.
Look, I had some ideas to go rogue too, but I didn't know if we were there yet.
My ideas to go rogue went bad.
Yeah, you tried to light the tower on fire.
It's fine.
I was just gonna try and plant evidence or something. I don't know. Do normal dirty law tricks, you know.
Interesting.
I gotta play all my cards.
So
This is my area.
I don't know if you're going to be able to get 2 Cercinations.
Okay.
Just because of the fact that that's 2 hours.
Well, they can have other people go up and talk, like Octavia or
Yeah, other people.
whoever. Yeah, they've got. I'll just go to the back of the room and just start.
I won't
Yeah.
disturb anyone. Just
So here's maybe a proposition then. If you're doing this, I imagine Cercination is sort of like an involved task. I think you're not going to be focused on a lot of what's being said otherwise,
Yeah.
potentially, and that might come up depending on what happens with the rolls for the Cercination.
Okay.
So let's maybe play that a little bit by ear. I think you for sure have one, but depending on
Okay.
if there's an opportunity for that second hour to come up,
Okay.
we'll maybe have to see if that's a thing. Yeah, but there'll be some space cleared away, and they'll definitely allow for that.
yeah. Do they put this thing on timeout and open that pit up and let him start cercinating up there, or what's the deal?
Probably off to the side.
Yeah.
I was just trying to think. Do they actually continue questioning other people, or is this literally we put a stop?
Everybody waits and
Does this
a
turn into the
Circination
Secret
show.
Winds show? Yeah.
2-hour recess.
Yeah, maybe there'll be a
Or
brief
we'll observe it whenever.
recess. Yeah. Maybe some recess, maybe some other people talking. Well, I think we can sort of figure out that there's definitely an hour there. Okay, I need to figure out. So I just want to point out, For when we get to the spirit binding, in a duel of wits, it's +2 ob for the challenge there.
Okay.
Yeah, so just gonna say that ahead of time, for however that looks.
Okay.
Cool.
I can do some astrology stuff and
Yeah.
wind in some other skills, so I can fork some stuff.
Yeah, for sure. And the other thing I want to figure out is which do you want to use, city and knowledge?
Yeah.
Do you have to pick one first? Like if you're doing.
I was gonna say, do you want me to like just kind of like grab one? Because really, if I'm thinking about it, it probably could all be signed up in a knowledge.
Yeah. The thing
Because
that
that's
I'm,
kind of like the focus of the city.
yeah, the thing that I'm trying to figure out is to use these domains, you have to be like within them.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to figure out like
The knowledge is always with you.
I'm trying to figure out like if this is actually a place that the spirits would come, because like in the case of a spirit of fire, like if there's no fire here, so I'm trying to imagine like if there's books or stuff nearby.
Yeah, the city is what. Did we establish like where the trial is located? Like,
But I was
Yeah.
about to ask.
Because I
We-
was thinking it was
Is it-
in the Ivory Tower.
is it
Okay.
in the Ivory Tower?
Yep. I'm good with that.
I was thinking you for sure can do city. I didn't know about knowledge.
So that's the other thing I'm wondering is city to me is sort of like you're in the streets and in like the
Okay. Yeah, that makes
embodiment
sense.
of it.
All right, we're gonna have trial outside today.
So
So
I think
I guess,
knowledge
Yeah.
for sure.
yeah, I think that's I can focus on that.
Okay. Great. Yeah.
I'll probably retract my statement to just say I'm summoning the ancestors of knowledge
Yep.
that are present in this place and focus on that. So
Yeah.
I'll try for 2 hours. If I get one, I get one on the circulation for that.
Yep. Okay. Yeah. Cool. So nice. That'll piece that together, and I think that looks pretty good.
Makes it a little simpler because it's already super freaking complex.
Oh yes. Okay. So let's open up our textbooks to page
Here we go.
390. Where is it?
Yeah, we're even in Burning Wheel Gold. This is the Codex.
391. Burning Wheel Gold. We're gonna, or 390 rather.
Oh, I have this bookmarked.
Nice.
I knew we were gonna hit this.
But Duel of Wits is a crunchy. Yeah, crunchy's a descriptive word. A crunchy system for how we're going to basically adjudicate what is the argument here. Now, I think how this will look is there's going to be the side of the council who is sort of like asking questions, trying to assign blame. I've got their thing figured out. And then there's going to be primarily the side of Robin. But I think Robin and Wenzi had some alignment on what they were doing. So the
We
thing,
thought so, I think.
I think we thought so.
yeah,
I think we thought we knew what we were getting into. We were just gonna like pass the buck, and then it turns out that, you know, things fall apart.
yeah.
Dwin falls apart.
And I think why that matters is because in a duel of wits, if there's like one primary person, they'll do all the actions. But if there's multiple people, it'll be 1, 2, 1, 2. Dwin has gone to their own situation, so it wouldn't be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That's totally fine. Oh, my camera is struggling. There we go. I think for Dwin, this will be sort of like a helping situation potentially, or maybe Dwin will get to interject with an action on whichever part they feel is relevant. All that being considered, the first thing that we need to figure out is what are the two things that are actually like fighting. And we're going to write those down. It sounded a bit like the argument for Robin's side is that
it was like something to the degree of she was not like strictly guilty of creating the storm.
Yeah.
Like we're trying to get out on a technicality. Essentially, is mostly what it is, right? It's like I think that's what Marie and I were both like trying to angle at was like, did she create a storm?
You know me. There's no
Yeah.
way that
And I was like, she didn't personally have the magical abilities to create.
And
storm.
Dwin's not
It
saying
was
she
kind of the same way.
did create the storm. He's saying that he basically is trying to interject himself as the authority and like point
She
the
just
finger.
happened to be holding
Yeah.
a gun that created the storm.
Yeah,
Who-
basically
who's
he's
the
trying to
fuck
just be
is that?
like, but have you considered Tenna
Yes.
or
We'll
a
get to that point
manipulation?
too. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And then Marie also had a little bit about how it was part of like Castillo's gossipy, and these are rumors that are coming up with that. Okay. So let's maybe let that sit for a second. What we have to do is we have to put it into like one nice sentence and condense it down. I've got the one for the council ready, so I'm gonna write that out on Roll20 here, and we can work off of that. So the council is basically someone is to blame for the storm. We shall assign that blame. Cool. Is that showing up for everyone? On Roll20? Great. Cool.
Where are you typing that?
Just on the background.
I need to zoom out, I think.
consider the
Oh.
volcano
There, I see it.
and then go
No,
south.
Yes, I see.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I considered the base of the volcano.
Mhm.
Sweet. And then we'll also get one for Robin's side, which basically tries to sum this all up.
It's basically like something to the degree of, though Robin was involved in the storm, she was not like responsible for it, for creating it, right?
Robin did not create the arcane storm.
There's that technical jargon.
Robin was not at fault for creating the arcane storm.
Yes.
Yes. It was
Okay.
not my fault. Technically.
Real quick,
So,
Googling Tort Loss to remember the chain of actions that have to be available for those things.
so Marie, does this sound good with you? Robin did not create the arcane storm. It was not her fault. Does that embody like the...
Yeah.
Okay, great. So, first thing that we'll do is, in a duel of wits, our arguments have health, essentially. We're going to figure out how strong these are. So this is the body of argument part. And I think this is where that oratory role is going to come in. So what it says here is, for your body of argument, we're going to roll that skill, and then we're going to add it to your will, essentially. Now, the follow-up question is, whose will do we actually want to use in this context? Because Wenzi is also participating. So I think we can be a bit flexible here.
And he also has a die trait for his body of argument in Duel of Wits.
Yeah, that's what I was sort of leaning into, is we can maybe take advantage of Lord Wenzi's there, and then Robin can roll the oratory roll. If that... Does that sound good?
I think that's how she would
Mhm.
prefer.
Yeah.
Like, it's still probably her leading it, but like the rest of us are attempting to help.
Yeah. Okay, awesome. So let's do that. So that'll be a roll for Robin. And since it's a skill that you have, same idea, you can pull things in, fork stuff.
Ooh, okay. But
And-
see, here's the thing. I have all the skills needed for
Yes.
this particular situation.
This is
Exactly.
this is
We've been
the
building.
roll.
Such as bureaucracy and rule of law.
Yep.
Just like if it goes south and I have to fight or sword at anyone, I've
Yeah.
got those skills.
Yep. Or if I need to read something.
Okay. So that's 2 forks from bureaucracy and rule of law, for sure, definitely.
Yeah. So would that go? So I remember them saying that there was. Remember, it didn't pop up like a bonus die thing. Is it just under? It's not under modifiers, right?
Yeah, it is. Yep.
Oh.
Yeah, sorry.
Cool. Okay. I don't have any persona to spend.
Right.
Okay. What is the base ob for this?
This will be base ob 1 because it's sort of, it just higher it goes the better. Nice. Oh, you got.
Oh yes. Please, please, fate.
Yep.
I got 3 6s. I got the fate to spend. I'm gonna do it.
Nice.
So that's 3d6.
Yep. Okay, you can reroll that 6 as well.
I would. Do I have to spend another fate?
Nope, it keeps going.
Hell yes. Well, okay.
Okay, that's actually quite good.
So
That's
5.
5 successes.
Yeah. I think
See,
that's
Got a
the
double
most.
raise.
I think that's the most successes we've had on a.
Yes.
Cool. And for Wenzi, what's their will?
Let's see. 5.
Okay, and then you get 1 extra from your traits if that's.
Yeah, I get the +1 to body. So we're just doing the body of argument roll right now is what's happening?
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
Cool. Alright, so modifier 1.
Oh, you
Alright.
you don't actually roll it; you just get them
Hmm?
for your will. So any successes from the skill test are added to your will exponent. It's on 391. In the body of argument part.
Yeah, you
There-
test your skill, then any successes from the skill test, the characters will exponent.
Yeah,
Oh,
there's
so-
an example that.
Okay.
Yeah. So under the unskilled body, it says a diplomat with B5 oratory.
Oh,
rolls
okay.
3
So I need to
successes.
be attempting to use like a different thing, which I don't think I have any of these really.
Yeah, it says persuasion for intimate ones or persuasion course, big showy debates, oratory, strenuous debate, or rhetoric.
Yeah. I'm
and
saying though
interrogation.
that we used the oratory roll from Robin
Mhm.
and Wenzi's will
Oh, we're just
and
mushing
combining
this
them.
together. Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. Oh, we're making a Voltron body of argument. Gotcha.
Yep. Exactly.
Okay, so we use my will and my +1 to.
And I'm drawing circles right now.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're helping too. Okay, so I don't have to roll anything. Gotcha.
Right. Yeah. It's just sort of that's
Okay.
or Wenzi's contribution.
Helping.
I contributed.
Yeah. I will say, if you're involved in the body of argument, you are a part of it, and the consequences.
Like I
that-
said, sword hand's ready.
Yep. Cool.
Do I gotta add a little persuasion from my talk earlier, or is that not in between yet? Because we're waiting to see what my actual argument is, or
Yeah.
I'm just curious how this works in
Waiting
with
on
everything.
Yeah. So essentially,
You're there.
you can add a helping dice.
Okay.
If you do that, you are also within that side of the argument. You can switch and flip flop, but the consequences of being on that argument are going to affect you as well.
Yeah, I think I'm in on it. I mean,
Okay.
I'm doing my own thing, kind of, but I'm also trying to help.
Yeah.
So, I'm gonna do. Can I do? I don't know. Do I have anything for this?
It's just sort of like one automatic helping dice. It just bumps it up by
Okay.
1. Yep.
Cool. I like that.
Nice.
I can do that. I can do that.
Yeah, that one's easy. Cool. And then let's figure out what the role is for the council. It's actually not great.
That's what I'm
Figured
hoping
it
here. A
out.
bunch of dirty gossips.
I make a strong
Don't even talk,
argument. See, Castile is broken. It can't even
We-
agree with itself.
Can't-
Teamwork.
Five powers combined.
Cool. So
Spirits, kin, heart, gun.
Arson.
Arson gun.
We formed Captain Castile.
I'm just figuring out how to roll this. let's roll this through Tenna's character sheet because that's easy. So same idea with the council. I'm going to roll their skill. They're rolling with a stat, so it's half successes. They're doing beginner's luck. And we'll add this to their will. Their will is going to be 4. Okay, wow. They are in a tricky spot. So divided by 2, that'll give them +1. Their argument is 5, and then they're going to have a helping dice because there's many of them.
Because there's just a lot of them.
The hive mind.
Oh, look at that. Our argument is twice as good as their argument. Wow.
It is.
Like I'm right.
Well, let's not get
the
ahead
kind
of
of
ourselves
thing.
here, Robin.
On a
Well, now you just
technicality.
calm yourself down.
Let's not burn our arsons before they hatch.
Ooh.
Awesome. So what we're going to do now, and this is where we get into like the crunchiness of it, is there's 3 actions that we're going to do in a row. 1, 2, 3. And you see this deck of cards that's in roll 20. These are the actions that can happen. I've included the ones for if you fail a steel test. So like, I don't recommend choosing Run Screaming or any of those. But essentially, we'll go Robin, Wenzi, and then we'll actually do Dwin as a third action. Each of you will get to sort of re-say your thing that we mentioned before, and we'll go through those actions. First part is each of you will choose an action based off of the cards, and then I'm going to choose, well, I've already got the actions for the council set up, so I'm just going to like drag and drop theirs on. And then I added a Duel of Wits cheat sheet so that we can actually see what these actions are. I'll maybe give like a high level refresher on them, and then we can sort of dig in as we need to figure out like which one is which, because I think that's a bit more relevant. I also added a link to where this supplement comes from because it's kind of crappy on Roll20, so if you want to open it in another page and zoom in. They're also in our book, but essentially out of the actions, the most important one probably is making a point. That's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna say something, and you make a point. If you do that, that's going to directly attack the hit points of the council. And then in addition to that, there's also rebuttals. A rebuttal is like you're going to defend yourself and then make a point. Those are the 2 sort of like critical ones. I think rather than like going through in detail on all of them, we can sort of do a bit of looking at them and figure out what makes sense, and then look at the rules then. But like I said, it's going to be a bit crunchy. And yeah, for Dwin, since you're doing the summon a spirit one, I'm trying to figure out how that'll like tie in nicely. Yeah, so we can figure that out.
We'll find out when it gets to me.
Yeah. With that in mind, does anyone have any first questions or thoughts? Cool. Okay, well,
I'm excited to fight with words in the
Yeah.
system. It seems cool.
I'm very scared.
Keep looking at all these skills and like, sure hope Robin has some of these.
Well,
The thing is, you can at least some of them.
I have some of them.
I can avoid the topic pretty well since that's a will. Which was
Everything has a will.
essentially what I was doing in character anyway.
yeah, and that's the right idea. Like, you can sort of line up with something that matches in character what you were feeling. That's where I would go with first. And the point of this is obviously the first person to get the other person to 0 is the winner.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was trying to find on this thing was, so it's just, you have a starting body of arguments, you do each thing versus, or however it says to arbitrate that, and then that determines
Yep.
what ends up happening.
Yeah. And we'll go through like one step at a time because it's a whole
It's a
thing.
verbal Pokemon battle currently.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool. Alright, I'm gonna get the council set up. They're going to
Should we just start deciding what we're doing then? Well,
Yeah, you can chat out loud, talk about these things. Feel free to like ask questions on what this stuff actually means, because we're figuring out as we go.
like I said, since it's testing will rather than one of the like oratory anythings skills, I can attempt to avoid the topic and fight against their points or obfuscates or insights. Which, Corey, don't listen.
I've already picked the 3 actions for the
Yeah.
council beforehand, so whatever you say, I'm not going to change any of them.
Fair enough.
What happens if it doesn't drop to 0 in the 3
Do we,
actions? Do
we
go
just do
again?
another round, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Go until someone wins.
Fight to the verbal death.
Fight to the verbal finish.
Yeah, so I was just like thinking like if they're gonna try and lead with a point, which they might, I could try and avoid the topic against that. I think that's what I'm seeing in this matrix down here. In action versus opponent's action on that effect. If they try and do point and I beat them, whatever the difference is, I reduce them by that.
That was avoid.
Yeah, so like say theoretically I do avoid and they do point on the first one. Then we do a versus test of my will versus whatever skill they're using, correct?
Yep.
And the difference ends up being like yeah, whoever loses that much. Yeah, and a versus
Yes.
test the ability indicated with the action against the ability indicated with the opposing action. Winner's margin of success is subtracted or instructed in the action description, which for that one specifically, like if I beat them by 1, they lose 1 to their body of argument.
Yes. Yep.
There is insight, which seems up Robin's alley.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if I have. Okay, I do technically have Ugly Truth being currently learned.
Just okay.
I
Sure.
don't have.
Which ones
any
use
of the other ones.
oratory?
Obfuscate.
Dismiss.
Point. Rebuttal.
Mhm.
And basically all of them except for insights.
Feint doesn't have it, but dismiss does on the left column.
Yes. Oh, I don't have rhetoric.
Yeah, so I guess it depends. Do we want to try and go on the offensive the first volley or defense?
Yeah, do we want to, and forgive my phrasing on this, pound down their defenses very quickly and just break through? Or do we
Yeah,
want
is
to go
it-
for the long haul?
Verbal attack. Yeah, or do we do something like avoid or obfuscate or rebuttal?
Because I don't think my stuff is going to come into play until the next round, really. I think this round I'm probably going to have to be actually doing the summoning bit.
I think what'll happen is on the 3rd action, we'll do the summoning and then count it as a point that you make.
Okay, that works. Because
Yeah,
I
'cause
can
it shows
I have
up under-
persuasion, so
Magic actions is command spirit.
yeah. Okay. Yeah, I see command spirit, but like that's one of the
Yeah, I don't
things
know
where
exactly
I
how
have the spirit, so I think it's
Yeah.
kind of a weird thing. So, but yeah, point makes sense because I have a skill that helps with that. So,
Command spirit in this context usually means like, I don't want to participate in this argument anymore. I'm going to summon the spirit of fire and burn things because this argument is done.
okay.
In your case, I think you're using it as a linked test to give. You're trying to like prove your point, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's good way to put it. Yeah. Cool. So, yes, Matthew, thank you for surmising my points there.
Yeah.
But do A or B, Zach? What do you think?
That's a good question. Like,
Is Winsy a defensive guy or a pounder?
Yeah,
No.
I think he's slippery. Like, well, like I said, the really only thing that he can offer is avoid the topic, which, you know, because
I mean, if you want to set us up for a defense, and then
that's what I was wondering, if we lead with that in hopes that they're trying to start with a point and see if I can beat them on that, and then like
Yeah.
afterwards, Robin comes in and is like, "Had you considered?"
yeah, and then
With some sort
Dwayne
of
comes in with some spirit.
either directly a point or a rebuttal or something that oratory can use. I don't know what her when Maria gets back, we can ask her thoughts on what exactly that action would be. I haven't read through the effects very carefully yet.
The effects for the rebuttal?
Any of them that can use oratory basically. So yeah, like rebuttal, successes from defense roll are subtracted from the opponent's successes.
Rebuttal is you basically attack and defend at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
Rebuttal is really good if you want to like chip away at your opponent and essentially be like, yeah, I'm going to defend myself while taking out you in the process.
Gotcha.
So there's an extra card on here. Was that someone's action? Is that? No.
I have not messed with the cards at all.
I'm gonna. It's gone.
Gone forever.
All right, so Maria, what are you thinking on this thing?
Well, Robin is not one to beat around the bush. So Robin is definitely in the
Go on the offensive?
Yes. Make them their own bad guys.
Okay, I like that. So Wendy's going on the defense to set us up with a strong point, and then Robin's
And
going
then
to
I
attack,
just-
and then I'll come in with the spirit. So
Yeah, so like I guess we do avoid. Like I do an avoid the first volley, and then Robin, do we know which of these that you're going to use? Because oratory is kind of your main skill that you can use on this thing, right?
Yes.
Okay. So it'd be rebuttal, point, obfuscate, or dismiss. Which I mean, if you're going directly on the offensive, I assume it's point or dismiss. Then it looks like, or the attack actions.
and dismiss
Yeah.
looks like it reads as like a finale thing almost.
Yeah.
Undeniable conclusion. Yeah. So maybe
Yeah.
that's not. Yeah, I would assume that maybe
Yeah,
it's
and
just point.
obfuscate is something that's done while the opponent is talking.
These are going to happen sort of like simultaneously. So whatever we need to make happen, we'll jump.
We'll
into
talk it through.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dismiss does give you 2 extra dice on your roll. It's basically a very powered up point that you make.
Yeah, but if you fail
Your
to
next
win the
action.
duel, yeah, you have to be the dismiss action. The next one must be hesitate
Yep.
for the next volley.
Oh, okay.
So win or you're in trouble.
Yeah.
That'd be fair in the like description of what it is. Loudly declare that your opponent knows nothing about the topic at hand, and furthermore, he's a fool and a dullard and shouldn't be listened to any further.
Oh, that's very much on.
That
brand
does sound
for
like
her.
on
That
brand.
does sound like Robin though. So
Yeah.
There is that. If
and
you're
Robin is
thinking-
kind of an all or nothing.
Yeah, if you're thinking it's an all or nothing, like you just
Yeah.
I did
I
try
divert
to
and
burn
then-
down the entire tower that we're in right now. So
yeah, you just dismiss
know.
him offhand, just like I mean, which was again kind of what you were doing in character anyway. It was just like get out of here with that.
Yeah. If we're going to do that, let's move Robin to the 3rd action, so that
Okay.
way you don't.
End with a bang or
yeah.
with a campfire.
Phrasing on this fight.
Mhm.
Cool.
All right.
So Wenzy's doing the avoid.
Yeah, I'll lead off with a classic technique of avoiding.
Okay, so just so I'm on the same page for that, avoid successes are subtracted from the opponent's thing.
Well, it depends on what they end up doing. I think.
Oh, yep.
It's like so. It depends if they do inside obfuscate or point, then it's a versus test. If not,
Right.
do not test any ability for this interaction. You're vulnerable. If it's one of the other things.
Okay, yep. I actually forgot what I put as the first action, so this is going to be a surprise
Yeah.
for all of us.
See if I can bait them out. Just so yeah, I lead off with Avoid, and then did we decide Dwin's the second one with some sort of link test against Point?
Basically, yeah.
Yep.
At some point, we'll figure out what's going on there.
Aha!
Okay, so I'll draw some cards for that. So we've got our Avoid, our Point. Where's Point?
Why are our
There it
cards so
is.
small?
We have to resize them.
Okay.
And then Robin's gonna dismiss. Cool. Okay. This is a whole marathon of figuring
Yeah, let's see
stuff
how
out.
it goes.
Chonk. Verbal chonk.
Yep.
Come on in, Chonk. Welcome.
I think we're good to go and we can reveal the first one and see what happens. Okay, sweet. How do you reveal cards? Oh, there it is.
Ha!
So, ha
Hated.
ha.
Aha!
Yep. So, they're gonna make a point, and you're avoiding, so that means this is gonna be a versus test.
Of my will versus whatever skill they're using.
Yeah, and they are untrained in persuasion,
These fools.
so this is gonna suck for them.
Oh my god.
I'll roll
Counsel.
theirs first, and then we can.
And then we'll use that as the ob.
Or should we say what they're saying first? Do you think, or should we do the?
Yeah,
roll?
like what's this? Yeah, what's their point, and then how am I going to avoid it?
Okay, yeah, that's a good thing to do. Okay, so the council gets up and they begin. They make their opening remarks. Someone is to blame for the storm. We need to assign the blame. We're going to figure this out now. The three of you had your sort of opening remarks. Essentially, one of the core parts that came out was Robin did not create the arcane storm. It was not her fault. And the council comes up and says, despite the fact that it is not your fault, it is important that we figure out who is responsible for this. Castile is based off of the idea of accountability, and we must have accountability in this situation. And then go for it.
Yeah, so I guess my avoid then is something to the effect of, so they're basically their point is somebody needs to be made accountable. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Shift that over to the side here. And give some sort of speech to the effect of, since no one knows what happened to create the arcane storm, well, I say that, but we as the audience know. Since no one was present to know what happened to create the arcane storm, there's no way we can assign accountability to it without understanding the cause of it. So, throw accountability out the window.
Yep. Got it. Okay, I will roll for the council. I'm going to give them a character sheet because they...
The hive mind.
Yep. Cool. So they're testing with will on persuasion, which is untrained for them because they are actually not persuasive.
The first council trial that we've ever had ever.
Yeah, like we're all learning. Democracy's hard, okay?
Cool. And I will give that a roll. No modifiers, no Artha, base obstacle, doesn't matter. Okay,
Oh, it took a second. Yikes.
that's not great for them. So they essentially got one success, right? Because it's,
Oh, I forgot about. Sorry. Yeah, I was like,
yeah.
3 is
it's-
okay, but no. Yeah.
It's beginner's luck for them, so 1.5 rounded down is 1.
Yeah.
So your ob will be 1 on the avoid roll.
I think I can do that. I really hope I can do
I
that.
really hope you don't.
Like otherwise, like kick me out of the crew, I guess. All right. So will no modifiers on this. Artha, base ob 1. Blasted him. 3 successes.
Nice.
Out of here with that.
Cool. And you get no routine test. If you,
No.
sorry.
Go for it.
Go ahead. If you
I was just
want,
gonna.
you go. You do it.
Fine. I was just gonna say, since I beat them by 2, then they lose 2 of their body of argument. I believe is how that effect read for avoid. Point successes are subtracted from your opponent's point, obfuscate, or insight successes. This reduces the effectiveness of an incoming point. If obfuscate or insight successes are reduced to 0.
I think it just reduces it.
Well, okay, so it's... Okay, so if I do... My action is avoid, like in that little bottom matrix, avoid versus point.
Yep.
It says it's a versus. So in a versus test the ability indicated with the opposing action. Apply the winner's margin of success. Oh, as instructed. So
Yeah.
do I just basically bring their point to nothing and basically nothing happens then?
Yeah. And the thing that's special about this is you are able to test will without the double obstacle penalty.
Yeah.
So that's sort of why that one is there.
Gotcha.
Cool. That does throw them off their game. They were counting on that point, but they're lost. Cool.
Yeah.
And then we can hop into... we can jump in to the spirits. So we actually have 3 roles to do here, right? The Cercination, the spirit, and then the point. Taryn?
Yes,
Yeah.
sorry, I was thinking Tall Squall in the chat.
That's fine.
I got excited. Tall Squall's here.
Ooh, hey, welcome for joining.
Welcome for joining.
Words.
Love you, Corey.
Don't worry, we're
Words
just
are
having a
tough.
duel of wits using words.
Yep.
I threw him off his game.
Throw up my
know.
roof.
Thank you for
yes,
joining.
So, yeah, the circulation. Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
We'll start with that.
Okay, I've got a thing for this. The skill. So, I need to scroll my character sheet, not the actual map thing. Skills. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think only 1 hour has gone by, so this is Ob 1.
Yeah. So modifiers. I think that adds to the modifier, or oh, it's just Ob 1. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, exactly.
Base Ob.
Easy. Cool. So now we can do the spirit binding test.
Mm-hmm.
I've got the document open.
Yeah, same. I'm looking at it too. Love when we have a document to figure out how to do a skill set.
A whole
Yes.
One
so
pagers are easier than 100 pages.
I don't have a spirit mark for this or a summoning. No, I do have a summoning circle. I don't think I have anything to offer either, necessarily.
Yeah, that would be like you go and burn a crop or something beforehand, or
Yeah, burn some books.
yeah.
Let's run
Knowledge
upstairs real
spirit.
quick.
Yeah. Do I need a spirit binding roll?
Yeah. So what are you trying to do with the spirit? Like, let's look at the spirit binding obstacle and figure out what this is. Like, what is
Yes.
the
Oh,
case
also,
here?
I would like to fork astrology in, if that is possible.
Yep, for sure.
So, reveal, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're going to reveal something within the domain of knowledge. What do
Yeah.
you want them to reveal?
I mean, we've kind of already understood. Basically, what I'm trying to have them reveal is actually their importance and like their ability to discern the fact in this trial. It's kind of a weird way to put it, but like, I want them to reveal themselves almost.
A credibility.
Yeah.
Thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and we're in the ivory tower, so there's lots of books. Got it. Okay, that makes sense. Yep.
Okay.
Cool. So I think with that we can go through the roll now.
Okay. Let's see what else it rolls. Astrology.
Yep.
So
We'll roll that one separately, I think we said.
yeah, because it's a fork. So
Yeah, it's also the special one that explodes up or down.
yeah.
Cool. Alright. I think, and you got one modifier from your cercination. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So which one do you want me to roll first?
Let's do the actual spirit binding, and then we'll just add the astrology dice after.
Okay. So spirit binding modifier 1.
Yep.
Ratha base. Actually, I'm gonna use an Ratha on this.
Okay.
I've got one persona, so modifier 1, Ratha 1. Base 3? No, it's 5 because of we're in Duel of Wits, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I'm gonna submit. But I
You have
can.
your astrology dice.
I do have fate too. Can I?
Yeah, let's roll the astrology dice first, just to see if it gets you there or not.
Okay. Okay, astrology modifiers none. Ratha none. Base op for that.
Sorry, you don't actually roll the skill, because that'll roll 4
Oh.
dice. You just
Okay.
roll 1 extra dice. So if you just do
Oh,
1d6, yeah.
It's not a. Why do I keep hitting 5? Nope, didn't get me there. So
Okay, so you can spend your fate point to re-roll 1 dice and see.
does that not help me explode up?
Spirit binding already explodes, so like the 6s did re-roll.
Oh, okay, yeah, I see ya.
Yeah.
So yeah. Come on. How many fate can I spend?
Just 1.
Just one?
Yeah.
Damn.
Ugh.
Okay, that was very close. So you can mark that test. That's a difficult spirit binding test for you.
Okay, would I've marked another one earlier from the last time? I don't think we talked about that.
Last time it was a routine test.
Okay.
So that doesn't actually give you anything because you're already past that point.
Yep, gotcha.
Yep. Okay. How does this happen? I need to figure out what retribution does on this. Okay, so on a failed binding, one of 3 things happens. There's no effect, you get ignored, the spirits are angry, you receive retribution equal to the strength plus the margin of failure, or the enmity clause and the spirit is summoned. So the enmity clause is you get it, but then I take retribution anyways.
Please, option 3.
Let's see.
That was close. It was very close.
Stand the retribution, maybe.
I want to go see really quickly what it says, if there's any other notes on this section really quick. Retribution.
This is my one thing. It's my one thing I need.
Do. Okay, so I think what's going to happen. Okay, I got it. Essentially, all of the books in the Ivory Tower begin to shift and move. Do you want to describe like the lead up to this sort of display?
I think because a knowledge spirit binding is a lot different than like say a star spirit binding. So
Yeah.
I think for Dwyn this is very much like I think he's like pulled out like some parchment and is like etching smaller circulations inside of it and is sort of like trying to like basically just like maybe even like talking through sort of like the history of knowledge in Castile and sort of entreating them on that.
Right. Okay. And as you sort of begin to do that, a lot of the pages and the books in this place begin to... Are you imagining that they just like move, or there's some like display of power, or...
Yeah, basically a display of power. So like maybe they all turn open to page 45 or something like that, or like a single page sort of like turns out of it or something like that. Just
Yeah. So what happens is a bunch of books come from the shelves, and they begin to fly towards you, towards Dwin, and they open book and make this sort of circle around you, all open-faced looking at you, and the words within them begin to sort of glow, and there's this glow on Dwin from all these books that are surrounding him in this moment. The crowd is aghast and like, oh, we've brought the spirit of knowledge to the trial. And I'm going to immediately enact the retribution.
yeah, I was gonna say, here it comes.
You don't notice anything.
I don't notice anything.
Nope. Nothing visible is there. But the retribution has happened.
So like the books do all their thing and then it's just kind of that's it.
Yep. Like,
Okay.
from the perspective of other people, like, there's no sign of retribution, but it has happened and it is done.
Okay.
Cool. Now we can do the actual persuasion roll
Yeah.
for this.
Now that you've displayed your knowledge power,
My power.
gaze upon the knowledge.
Okay.
All right. So they're doing insight versus a point. So a point is you just attack their body, and then insight is...
Yeah, so point against insight you do standard test, and then insight against point you do also standard.
Yep.
So both just do the ability and apply whatever effect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would have to make a steel test if they...
Yes. So I'll let you go ahead and make your point. The insight isn't going to have any impact on this one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna kind of gesture at the books around me. The ancestors clearly are present and powerful in Castile's modern age. It would be wise to heed the counsel of the church in this manner and listen to us when we say that Robin was but a tool.
Okay. Sweet. And then you can go ahead and roll persuasion.
Okay.
And then you get a bonus dice from the summoning, I think.
Okay. I marked persuasion as a difficult test earlier, but it just has the 1 on there, so would that bump it up, or...
I think you just learned persuasion, right?
Yeah, I just did, so maybe I won't mark that as a... I'll probably...
Yeah. Usually
Jump it
you need
on.
to get 2 out of 3 of them anyways.
Yeah, okay. So, but yeah, so persuasion, just gonna roll it. Modifier,
1 modifier.
okay. No Ratha, because I don't have any base op.
Just 1.
Okay.
And however
Hey.
high you go. Oh, nice.
Yeah, because if I'm reading this correctly, it's just that since you got 2 successes, we take 2 away from their body of argument. Assuming the insight doesn't do anything against that.
Yeah, the insight won't do anything. The insight is going to sort of try and rile people up for the next thing
Yeah,
that
basically
happens.
they're trying to knock me out of it too, I think.
Cool.
Because, yeah, they're attacking my person, basically.
Yeah. At this point, like the crowd is getting riled up, and the council is like trying to speak, and they're like, "This is not a valid display. This is not sanctioned by the council. Everyone needs to calm down. This is inappropriate for the trial," and they're basically going to use that for their insight. What's your will? Because that's what they're rolling against.
My will is 5.
Nice.
Okay.
Yep.
They literally can't win. Because they don't have Artha, and yep, okay, so that just fails. I guess we need to see how much it fails by, because you get bonus dice for that. So I will give them...
Oh yeah, this is if they however much they fail by, is that is advantage dice to our next test.
Yep.
Which Robin bringing in the hammer.
Ooh, they rolled all successes. Ugh. I wish I had... your will was 6?
5.
5. Okay.
So we
Crazy.
get +1 then,
Yeah, you get +1 die on the next action.
and we also get +2 because we're doing dismiss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, gosh, I was kind of hoping they'd go against me because my steal is pretty badass to win. I was kind of hoping they'd win so I could just be like, no.
I'm glad that you and I are both like A, high will, B, high steel.
It's kind of our thing.
Yeah.
Sweet. We can hop onto the third one. Dismiss.
Oh.
So this is essentially both parties are being like...
We're
They're
bringing
trying
out
to-
the big
yeah.
guns.
They're trying to end the argument in this moment. Let's maybe start with figuring out how many dice we're gonna roll for Robin. Or let's start with the actual narrative, because that might affect what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Do we want the council to go first or Robin to go first?
Let's let the council go first.
Okay.
Because they've just tried to settle the crowd with
Yeah, they
Insight.
tried to get the crowd.
almost success. Almost success.
Yeah.
I just didn't quite.
Yep. Okay, so someone from the council gets out of their like little booth that they hang out in, and they're coming out. They look a bit flustered, and they look around and they say, "You arsonist, you traitor, you criminal, you," and they point at Tenna and say, you let this happen too. You were in charge. All of you. You should not have done this. What you have done is wrong, and someone needs to be accountable. Someone needs to pay for the arcane storm that has hurt our community. And that's all they're gonna get out of this. And then Robin, you have a chance to... Oh, sorry. They're gonna add one more thing. They're gonna say, you two, and they're gonna look at Robin and Tenna, and they're gonna point over and say, you all as well, and they're gonna look at Wenzi and Dwin and say, you sit down. This is our trial that we are running.
Not anymore.
Yep.
I slowly walk forward.
Blast them.
Dwin's just
Get
gonna
'em.
stand by Wednesday probably.
Yeah. We just had the signs. Get them.
Roast them.
The spirits are with you.
Yeah, thank you.
It's technically the ancestors.
I agree with what you said. Someone does need to be held accountable for all of these actions. However, Perhaps it is those who have allowed things to get so out of hand that should be held accountable, directly staring at the council. You see, one person a city does not make. However, if we follow a herd of sheep as it jumps off of a cliff, and then it makes sense that, bad things would happen.
Sweet. So we can do our rolls now. I will do the council's roll really quick. So they were trying to lean into intimidation.
I was leaning into insults.
And the council has 1 fork dice that I'm going to give them. So I'll just roll theirs really quick. 5, Artha 0, base off 1. Ooh. That my rolls.
Oh no. Oh no. How dare.
How?
Do they
How do
actually
you
have
do
that
that?
skill, or do they?
Yes, I gave them intimidation. That was the one thing that they had.
I guess, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
They are the law.
I have a
Okay.
question.
Yep.
Can I fork a skill that I am learning? Dang it.
Now I know.
Rip.
I did have ugly truth, and I'm getting there.
So which skill are you going to use? Is this the oratory?
Oratory.
Oh, I forgot to give the council 2 extra dice for the dismiss action.
Oh yeah, they get 2 extra, and then we get 3 extra though,
Yeah.
Well, that's good. I'm
because
glad
Wynn
about
roasted
that.
him with his knowledge powers.
Sorry.
Hey,
That's 6 successes. Great. We're
Hey,
gonna
Corey.
it's going great.
hey, could you not?
Yeah, Corey. Yeah,
Have you
Corey.
considered?
Have
Not
you
doing
But
considered
could you
nodding?
just let us win?
Not
Okay.
making it so difficult.
Interesting.
I have a skill I can fork into this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so excited.
Which one?
Rule of law.
Yep.
Oh.
Very applicable.
Hello, I studied a whole lot.
Mhm.
Wait, why are we down 6? Sorry, I must have missed that when we were.
I forgot to roll the 2 extra dismiss dice for the council, so I rolled those and I got 2 successes.
That
So-
like literally just happened.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that was where my. I was like, oh, that was quick.
It was not a previous. It was this.
Yeah.
one.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes more
This
sense.
time
to
right
me.
now hurt a lot.
Yep.
Cool.
We just got bloodied in this duel of wits.
Yes, and that matters. It will matter once we get to the resolution.
Mhm.
Cool.
Now, if you want, I could get out my sword or these fists, and I could use the help of either sword or brawling if you'd like. Next time, if we get there.
Yeah. Okay, yes. So the only one that I can use is rule of law to
Yep.
fork into oratory, because oratory is definitely my better skill.
Yep.
Okay. So I have oratory.
Yep.
Let me click. There it is. Okay. So I add 1 for rule of law, is that right?
Yep.
Okay. And then I add 3 because of everything, all the shenanigans we've done before.
Yep. For a total of 4.
Total of 4.
Yep.
Okay. Don't have any Artha to spend, which is cool. Base of what?
I think it's just 1.
Okay.
It's however high you go, basically, is how much damage
Okay.
you do.
Oofa doof. Oh hey, there's some 6s.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Hello.
You're going to reroll?
Oh, absolutely. I'm saving up all this fate for a reason.
Nice.
You gotta earn that fate, yeah. Like,
Yeah. Okay, so that's 5.
Yep. That brings their argument to 0. Cool.
Ba-ba-da-da.
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Get him.
So what we do now
Psych.
is
Get wrecked.
we'll go to page 398 is how we sort of resolve it. Basically what happens is you won, but your argument was damaged quite a bit, actually. So there has to be some compromise. If your argument is reduced to half or thereabouts, you owe your opponent a solid compromise. So now as players, we're going to figure out what is the case where Robin wins and your opinions as a group take hold, but what's a compromise that... Yep.
I win, but I lose.
What was? I missed the first part.
Oh, well, that was an option. An option,
Yep.
unless we want to be more creative. Is I tried to set the building on fire, so I win, but I lose, which is an
Yeah.
option.
You
I feel
spend
like
some time for some arson?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like there could also be more interesting, like, narrative things that we could maybe explore, but that's a good default.
Yeah. A compromise. So basically, the council wants someone to blame. One compromise that they would suggest is they want to blame Tenna.
That's a great compromise.
I love that compromise. Wow. I love when
That
they
is a
give
major
something and
compromise.
then also give something.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I'll leave that up to him.
I do think we're gonna have to, or at least Robin is gonna have to pay a little bit of the price.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The council doesn't care.
Oh well, that's.
Okay.
They just want someone to blame.
Okay.
Does it sound like a good compromise that Robin isn't blamed, but someone is blamed?
Yes.
Yeah.
Someone is Tenna. I do have a belief about that I would like to clear.
Someone is Tenna. I do have a belief about that I don't really want.
There are
to
two of
Yes.
us that want Tenna to go
No,
down.
I mean I want her to go down, but I don't know if I want. Here's the thing: I with that changed belief of I must convince her to leave. I don't. I'm
So-
torn.
The thing
No.
is, since they won half of the argument, in theory, it's supposed to be a bit painful. Like it should be a
Yeah.
painful compromise.
Okay. Then yes.
Yeah.
It is painful for
I mean-
Robin.
That could be a pretty good reason to get somebody to skip town.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm down.
It's that or jail,
Maybe next session you break her out of jail.
which could be
No?
episode 4. Yeah.
Yeah. Or
No,
Maybe the
Yeah.
jail's a little flammable.
Jails are known for their that thing that makes them set on fire.
flammability.
Flammability. Ignition
Flame-
potential.
The flim flam.
The flim flams.
Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
is that our common ground? Does everyone agree with that?
Yeah.
Okay, sweet. So the conclusion is reached, and the council decides, and they sort of come up and speak. There's maybe a bit of a recess. They come out, and the General Palpatine moves out and says, in conclusion, from the trial and the points that were brought up, we have decided as a group that it is pertinent that Robin is in fact innocent and was not involved with the Arcane Storm, but as a result, we have learned that Tenna was in fact responsible and should be held accountable for what happened, and as such, Tenna, you are banished 6 months of the year from Castile. As a result,
I think Robin does stand up like very, very quickly in protest. It's probably ignored, but it does exist.
okay. The council will continue on and say, as a result, Castile no longer has a leader, and we have decided that we're going to call an election. and there will be a recess for that.
Oh, like we're gonna call the election now?
Yes.
Oh.
A special election? Okay.
Oh dear God.
Oh.
Oh no.
We're all of a sudden
Alright,
looking at
so-
each other and like,
Uh oh.
And we all walk.
oh no,
Oh,
Zach.
oh no. Oh no, Zach. Oh no.
Zach, you're glitchy.
You're a
You're
big
cutting
old
it
robot
out,
I might
Wednesday.
rip.
Yeah.
So here's sort
Spot
of,
point for the night.
yeah. I think we can put it on a cliffhanger that I've got one coming up really quick. We can go into our ending stuff, and then I think that'll be good. Okay. So just a glimpse into the future that we're going to break apart next session. But essentially the council comes out and they are getting ready for the election. Nominations come up and they get together, and one of them reads off and said, for their display of the impact of the ancestors on Castile, the council has decided to recognize Speaker Dwin as a nomination for Castile and will be adding them to the ballot. Furthermore, after consulting with Octavia, the leader of the Kin militia, we have decided that Lord Wensley would be an apt candidate for Castile. And lastly, after determining their innocence and being the second in command within Castile, we have decided to put Robin as a nomination in for Castile. We will proceed with our vote momentarily.
No, I don't want to fight against you for this.
I don't
either,
want
Christina.
it. Dwin doesn't want it either.
Oh no.
I need to maneuver this into being usable though.
Oh no. I think the only person who's just like, yes, I need it now is.
This is Wednesday.
Look, I thought,
But I don't want you to have it.
don't you?
If you can give Dwin what he wants, he is definitely gonna
Look,
back
there's.
Wednesday.
It's time for horse trading.
Oh no.
Yep. Oh, Dwin is like cornering Wenzius during the recess.
Yeah, I think we have another like all eyes meet, and we're like, all right.
I am avoiding the two of you like the plague.
It's
How
fine.
dare.
Sorry, it's me against you now. I will be the antagonist now. I am taking that hat. It's me.
Hasn't it been the whole time?
The hat is on.
Yeah.
The hat, as you say, is on.
Same hat.
Same hat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Same hat.
All right.
Cool.
Good stuff.
Here.
Oh god.
Let's hop into our end of session rewards for that.
Oh no.
Oh, the gun's gonna come out.
Oh. I hope so.
Political assassination.
Oh, you know, a little bit of player knowledge.
You won't.
Oh, Zach, you're cutting out again. Did you want to try reconnecting? I don't know if that'll help, but we're also near the end, so it's
Yeah, we'll try that.
okay. Cool. Let's maybe hop into Robin then.
Hello.
Cool. Cameras are going to be weird, but we'll deal with it. Sweet.
I'll just go. Where do I go? I go this way.
Yeah, tell us about your beliefs.
You've been
my
calling me Lord
beliefs.
Wednesday all the time, and now I actually am.
Now you are. Okay. So my beliefs. Tenna shouldn't defend the city. I must convince her to leave. Didn't technically do that, but it's technically happening. Technically. But no, I don't. I tried, but I didn't.
I think you made progress, though. Like, Tenna can't defend the city now. She's ousted.
This is true. This is so true.
I would suggest at least a fate for that.
I mean, I'll take it.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Let's see. I did not use my weapon, so the power in this weapon, I will use it if necessary, didn't really come up
Yep.
at all. Castile is dying from the inside. It is not worth saving, and I must make sure everyone knows. I feel like I did dabble in that during my oration or your
Yeah.
oratoriation.
So fate for that.
And then the politics of this land are petty. No one can see the logic around them. I will show them their wrongness. I feel like that kind of goes hand in hand with that one that I just did.
Yeah, I think it was like so prevalent though that both are worth a reward.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So fate for that. Were there any instincts or traits that you felt like were particularly interesting or took the story in a particular direction that was narratively, different?
Well, here's the thing. Did I cause a conflict between two powerful personas or organizations?
Yes, you caused a conflict between Tenna and the council and basically everyone in the room.
That gives me a persona point each time I cause a conflict. So if it happened multiple times.
Oh, interesting.
Just Raid's persona points.
So
they're the ones I want.
Yeah. The thing is, for each, basically if there's like a role, that's sort of the requirement. I think there's definitely a role before. I feel like one makes sense, and then there might be more depending in the next session.
Mm-hmm.
If that sounds good with you.
That sounds great.
Cool.
And I don't know if I don't know how to essentially enact the zealot trait, because that kind of just is. Let's see.
Yeah, you have your extra belief because of it, so it's...
Yeah, so there's not really like a... yeah, there's not really like a thing that I can, say, hey, that thing. So I think... as far as instincts, I did have... Oh. All right. I do have a question.
Yep.
Kind of a retroactive question. So when I was arrested, did they take all my possessions?
Tenna knew about the weapon and hand waved it.
Perfect.
Yep.
Excellent. So technically I do have the weapon secret and available, although it's not secret from everyone, but it's secret from 90% of the population. Technically.
Yeah.
Secret from all but 3 people.
Yeah.
No one new has found out about it this session at the very least.
I think you would get the point though if more people did find out about it because you did have it available. I think if you were like, yeah, I'm gonna use this pistol, we're just gonna blow up the ivory tower right now, that would be the point, the fate point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. The only one that maybe I can make an argument for then is if someone spouts political jargon, I can confound them with logic. Although there wasn't a lot of political jargon necessarily, because the only time that I was attempting to confound someone was when I was at the one-on-one with Tenna. And I kind of used mild political jargon, so that was kind of opposite of that. And then the only other thing was in my rebuttal to their dismissal, or rather my dismissal to their dismissal, those are the only times I did any sort of trying to confound anything, and I don't know if that necessarily fits in that zone.
Yeah. So my thought is that we gave a fate for the special belief, so I'm sort of wondering if there's 2 distinct spots where it happened. Yeah. Do you feel like that other fate point that you got for it already covered that, or do you feel like this is separate? It's up to you.
No, I think that it's kind of the same. It's similar enough.
Okay.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Sweet. Cool. I think that's the rewards for Robin then, if you're good to go.
Mhm.
Cool. Let's hop into Dwin.
All right. Let's see. Beliefs, right?
Yep.
I will move the church forward by prosecuting the true guilty party through the ancestors. Okay, like that.
So do you feel like you worked towards it, or you completed it, or concluded it? Because it's either way.
I feel like kind of completed it.
Yeah.
So
Cool. So that's a persona point for you.
cool. I will convert my love by demonstrating the ancestors' power during the trial. I think that's didn't complete. I worked towards that.
Yeah, because Ash was present.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's a fate point.
Okay. And then I believe that the Church of the Ancestors is the only way forward for Castile. I mean, I definitely kind of that was my main focus anytime I talked.
Yeah.
So, focus work towards probably.
Cool. It's another fate point.
Yep. Okay. And then instincts. Always dream before making big decisions. I did that. So.
Yeah. And I think the fact that there was like a really important piece of information there
Mm-hmm.
is, yeah, I think that one actually is a really good case for when an instinct actually affected the play.
Mm-hmm.
Fate point?
Yeah.
Okay.
If someone questions the ancestors, I can't help but educate them. I mean, no one really questioned them per
I mean,
se. Well, actually, the
Iffy on the
insight,
like in the Duel of Wits thing, right?
yeah,
They kind of tried to wave you off as like this. It wasn't so much they were questioning the ancestor. Like it's a little iffy.
they
on
were
that one.
questioning the place of the ancestors,
and like
not
the validity
necessarily.
of using that. Yeah.
Yeah,
So on the fence on that one probably.
yeah,
Yeah. I think we got a few of the fate points from the other beliefs.
yeah. I
so...
think it's all right. So,
Okay, cool.
and then last one, never ask for directions. That's just. I mean, I didn't ask for directions during the dream when I got lost, so. But I also have plenty of fate points. So,
Yeah, yeah. We gave you one from the other one, so I think you're good.
Yeah.
Cool. Do you feel like any of your traits were particularly relevant?
Character traits. I mean, devout, but that's just kind of like Dwin's thing. Like,
Yeah. It didn't put you into like a bad position or anything.
yeah, yeah. Loss did kind of affect me being able to like fully
Yes.
do the dream. So,
Yep. I would say that's worth another fate, I think.
okay, cool. I think that's good. Got
Okay.
plenty of stuff.
Yep. Cool. We'll top over to Lord Wednesday.
Hit me.
Yeah.
All right. First one. Here we go. Finally. I will use Robin's trial to direct blame from the storm at Tenna and expose the government as incompetent.
Ping.
Ding.
Persona.
That is nice. After that, apparently I was dreaming too small on this one based on what's happening next session. But that didn't complete or get moved at necessarily, but I will do what I must to claim my rightful place as Kin Militia Leader.
So,
So-
I just have an interesting fact. At the beginning on session 1, no one was going to be a nominee, and each of you had a failed roll where someone noticed something about you, and that made it back to the council, and that's why each of you were nominated. There's a specific role for each of you that flowed through the game, and
Oh, you know.
yeah,
All right.
cool.
And then the other one we obviously didn't get to. That was about trying to turn the religions against Octavia. We'll see how that goes. Me and Dwin might not be on great terms right now. Who knows?
Yep.
Instincts, I don't think any of those really got me into trouble. That's what those are for, right?
Yeah.
I thought I was gonna have to call I was really hoping I got to call somebody out on not calling me Lord, but no dice there. And then traits, scheming is the only one that is kind of there, but not a ton. Like I didn't do much scheming.
Yeah, it didn't put you into a bad spot.
Yeah,
It's
like
so
it wasn't
tricky.
especially. Yeah, for traits it's supposed to be like, if it is, yeah, like especially
Yeah.
affects the plot, right?
Yeah. Um. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Sweet. So to wrap up a little bit, I think what we're gonna do. Do we? Actually, I'll save it for later. There's a this straw poll thing might come into effect next session. Yeah. So.
no. Oh no.
We can wrap up here. Do we want to do the same order and we can do our sign-offs from there? Starting with Maria.
Sure. Hello, everyone. It's me. I'm not an arson, and I'm not a bad person. I am. You can find me at Happy Capture all over the place, mostly on social media. I'm going to be doing a lot of stuff in the near future. If you saw Monster Hearts earlier today, I listed a lot of things there. So both Monster Hearts, which airs at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and this one, we're all ending next week, which is really sad. But a whole bunch of new stuff is starting. Tomorrow evening, we have our penultimate episode for Hellbind 7, which has gone places that I didn't think it was going to go. So if you like space, and you like seeing me and Taryn and also a bunch of other variant roles people. Oh, and also Corey. Yes, Corey's there now. Do space adventures and uncover secrets and totally not have secrets themselves. That's going to be tomorrow, and then also next Monday. I'm going to be doing a lot of new things, like Urban Shadows is starting up soon again on basically this time slot that Taryn's running. And then I'm going to be in Grim Femmes, which is starting on Monday nights after Hellbind, and then also Project VHS, which is going to be on Thursday nights, starting on Thursday. It's a lot. It's a lot of things. It's a lot of things. So it's going to be great. It's going to be wonderful. I'm always tired, but it's always great.
Sweet. Thank you. Taryn?
Yes. Hey everybody, Taryn, Tarzan Nosy on the Twitters. Yeah, I did that on purpose. I'm tired. It's been a long Sunday. But yeah, Maria mentioned a lot of stuff. I'm on a lot of those projects. So yeah, Monday's penultimate Hellbind 7, all there. Thursday's Project VHS, you can find me there. And then not next Sunday, but the Sunday after, I will be emceeing season 2 of Urban Shadows, Juno, Darkness Beckons. So
Sorry, had to mute myself. Zach.
Hello, I'm Zach. You can catch me at the Zach Bales on the social medias, or don't. That's also a very good choice. I'm mostly just here for this thing on Sundays until we do next session and we wrap this one up, and then they kick me out for good. So yeah, I guess catch that one. We'll see what happens there.
Lies, false.
Yeah.
what the heck is wrong?
Lies, false, lies.
Never letting you go.
Never, ever. You're here forever now.
Oh no,
Take that.
forever.
The contract was specific about forever. So
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, next time read the fine
We're
print.
Yeah.
Sweet. And so myself, my name is Corey Hickson. I'm on Twitter at the same handle. I'm here for Saturday is Invisible Sun. We're just chugging along until we get ready for season 2. Burning Wheel tonight. So thanks y'all for joining for our penultimate episode. Oh my god. So I really enjoyed it. And Hellbind 7 tomorrow as well. Mention that again. Otherwise, I think we're good to go. Thank you all so much for joining. And with that, we will head on out.